Real talk, the metaphor messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? It's the metaphor messiah, back to show you who we are. Represent a legacy, up our head like the 70s. A different kind of mind, they say we only speak in melodies. Legend in the game, I think I found a solution. Got a crazy kind of flow, I need a verbal institution. Monster on the mic, I feel like hip-hop been adopted. You pussy niggas shook, you let them turn it into a mockery. I give a fuck about their recognition. I'm trying to speak the fucking truth, somebody get the message. Politics, they overstate the obvious. They shooting like Stojakovic, it's war on every continent. Keep it in, you know, I'm what you hated through the government. Young black with heart, I put a hex on the establishment. Niggas playing patty cake and I was trying to regulate. A lot of them are emulate, but none of them are demonstrate.
Extravaganza! The show with the gravitas. The thing that I gotta admit, I wasn't sure would ever happen. I'm not sure that this would ever happen. There was a time where I wasn't sure. There was a time in my life where I wasn't sure I could do this. I didn't think that I was in a place where it made a lot of sense for me. But as I've gotten older and closer to the icy cold grip of death, you kind of look at things differently. You figure things out. You realize where you came from. Sometimes it is an indication of where you're going. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not a good thing. So to always find new ways of moving forward, it's always a good time to take a look back. And I got to be honest with you. This latest batch of live chat withs and going back to shopping the point, it's really allowed me to have a real douchebaggery perspective, you know. I could really kind of dig in there, you know, get on that derailed tape and look back at all the things, and it's been fun. And so Tommy was fantastic to sit down with for almost, I think, over 2 hours. Good Christ. It was absolutely sick. We had a fantastic time. And we may have had one of our best shot from the points of all time this last week. Holy God. And then, you know, so it made sense. Let's continue down. What makes the most sense next? It was this. It's Cronin. There's a lot that I got to talk about with this guy. Some of the past stuff, sure. But really about the future. Now, he is currently live and he should be ending. He should have ended by now and ending. And coming over here as we flow right up into this thing. How fucking Cronin-like would it be if he just didn't show? Big Nicky D, you know what? Yeah, we got to do a big beer chug for that. Because for one, I think you got me over the hump on that wondrous payout. I think I'm going to get a fucking YouTube payout because of Nick DiArio. So we've got a fantastic show tonight, man. This is a fantastic way to end your week, start your week, however you want to put it. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a good time with a guy that a lot of people wasn't sure they'd ever see with me again. Like I said, I wasn't sure either. You know, this was something that for a while I just wasn't ready for. You know, and I'm glad I'm in a better place now. I'm glad we're all in better places to be able to kind of talk about things rationally and have a good time with each other once again. And speaking of the motherfucking devil, the man, the myth. Oh, I hear myself all kinds of fucking echoey. The man, the myth, and the legend, the one, the only Joe motherfucking Cronin. What's up there, you sexy motherfucker? And you even got yourself already nice and captured so I can capture that fuck face beautifully. How you doing, pal?
Jesus Christ, I feel like I was just raped.
YouTube, I graduated from your YouTube school. Of course, you got to feel like you're raped. Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of people, you know, that's the thing. You know, I created everything. Did you know that?
I did know that. The Croninverse exists for everyone, man.
Yeah, I've touched somebody in every place. I don't know. You know what?
And that sounds a lot different than you probably intended it to.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm raping you now.
Well, the night's still young, after all.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, you're looking a lot thinner too. So, like, you know, than when back in the day, and I used to be have a pretty big hard on for you back in the day. So
I was
now,
chubby.
Yeah, now it's like really getting there because now I can hold you up. Before it was like I was intimidated that I couldn't pick you up.
But right, our sex would have been very one-sided.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But now you can get me on all sides. By the way, Nick DiOrio fucking going absolutely insane in the chat. $100, $50 before the show even fucking started. $50 now to make sure that we got to pay out, because I don't remember the last time I got to pay out from fucking YouTube. So thank you very much for that. I greatly appreciate you. We're gonna do a big beer chug to start the night. So this one's different, man. This is not a live chat that's like the other ones that I've done. I'm gonna capture you at some point too, so stay on video if you like.
Okay.
This one was a little different, because even more different than Tommy. It's cool to be back doing the live chat once again and kind of going through a retrospective, because we like being douchebags around here, of like just where I've been. And you're one of the, for YouTube, you are the biggest step. I don't come to YouTube if I don't meet you. That's the reality. When Tommy and I started, I wasn't going to YouTube. It's like, fuck YouTube. And then one SummerSlam in 2014 fucking changes everything. And then I'm like, oh, I like this YouTube thing. And then you're like, get a YouTube, stupid. I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm still telling people all the time, like, to do things a certain way. You know what's funny is I used to tell many of the wrestling people to do YouTube a certain way. I was like, why don't you go live? Why do you only do podcasts or whatever? And then I kept saying that to them enough, and all of them did do that. And now I think I gave myself
competition.
I destroyed half of my, I really did. I have a problem with that, man. I don't know why, but I have a lot of problems, but one of the things, I don't know why I'm like this, but one of the things I'm like is I'm always trying to get everyone involved or whatever. Like, I always want to bring everybody to the party, or try to tell people, like, there's a lot of examples of that. Like, and it
makes sense to do that,
It's like I'm meddling though. Like, and sometimes like it goes wrong, where it's like I meddled trying to help someone, and it goes bad, and you're like, why don't I just stay to myself and leave it alone? Focus on me. Don't try to do anything anywhere with anybody.
Because it doesn't work like that. You got to fucking get involved, and you got to do shit with people. And like, you and I had an interesting one where I remember I was weird about it. I didn't want to, I had to go after. I didn't want to go. I stayed with you for an hour and a half at least every Raw, and then I would go live after and kind of like do mop-up duty. That was fun. I missed those days. That was a good time.
Yeah, that was fun. I really like those times. I feel like everybody that I ever did anything with, though, it always some point went some kind of sideways, like with everybody. Like, I could tell you, some of them are easy to figure out why, but
sure,
we could go through those, and it's like
we can. There's a lot to go through. Well, let's go for the people who may not be completely familiar, because it's been a long time where I've even been slightly relevant. So there might be some people who are not even sure what the relevance of this interview is. So Tommy and I started 10 years ago. And him and I did all kinds of stuff outside of YouTube. He was doing YouTube, and I was like, fuck YouTube. Him and I ended up not talking for a year.
And you were in the Army together first, right?
Yes,
and then,
him and I were in the Army together.
Right. So there was that. I just wanted to, I got to throw that out there.
We had to go even fucking farther back. I'm down with that. I was born in Chicago to a hillbilly. So he and I, good God, we got 15 bucks. Is that C-Man? C-Man?
What is happening? Cool to see you guys together again. Good shit.
You got Seaman on you?
Seaman. Remember Seaman? Do you remember him? I remember Seaman.
Yeah, he called me a little while back when I did a Q&A.
He's a good guy. That's a good guy, talented dude. Augie, what's up, Augie? How you doing, man? We got a bunch of people.
I don't see him. Probably blocked him or something.
You probably have more than likely. That's all right. It happens. So when Tommy and I got back together, part of that was mainly because he was doing some wrestling stuff with Jesse for SummerSlam, and he asked me if I wanted to be a part of it. And apparently, luckily, it was a very good thing that I did. They were having some issues. They were doing the they were doing the after party for you. And it didn't go very well. Or maybe they were doing the review proper because you were late to it or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. And they had some technical issues. It just wasn't going right. I come in there. We start striking gold, having some fun. The three of us just jived real good. Then you and I started talking immediately. And boom, next night I'm on Raw.
Well, and I remember, I think I also remember that Tommy C had been putting you over a little bit like before that. And I think I went and listened to you. So like I already was like sold in a way, and then I heard you and was like, yeah, oh my God, yeah, this guy would be great. What is he doing on this website thing? Like, get him on YouTube, get him over here, like, and so then when you came on that time, it was kind of like, oh, I'd already heard this guy.
You and I had talked like a year before all of that. We spoke briefly and we were going to do something and it just never happened.
Yeah, and I don't remember how many did I have, like 5,000 subs at the time or something?
I think you might have been double digits. You might have been 10K by that time.
Okay, so maybe I was at 10,000. So like basically, when I started my podcast or my YouTube wrestling, like I did YouTube on a different channel. I only had 800 subs. And then I realized what I was going to focus in on, which was sports talk, like post-show wrestling radio type of thing.
You've had a bunch of different personas and different radio shows too over the years before JCS even became a thing.
Yeah, so like I'm like, all right, let me do that. Let me just focus on wrestling and hockey, and that's what I wanted to do. Was focus on wrestling, hockey, and maybe like baseball, like rant about Boston sports randomly, but also do this formatted radio Howard Stern sports show with wrestling. So when I started that, I was like, oh, it'd be good to have co-host. And my friend Chris was like, hey, I'll call in all the time and be like your co-host. And I was like, that'd be great.
Tasevich. The great hippie Tasevich. John Lennon's illegitimate son, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know.
Now he doesn't really look like a hippie anymore. He looks like he's in Antifa.
He cut it? He cut the hair?
Well, I think it's like he's got dreadlocks with like purple hair.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. He's been radicalized. Tasevich radical. Yeah, Tommy might have called that one. I don't know.
Yeah, so he used to be he actually one time reached out to me and he said, when did your channel become a Trump supporting QAnon show?
That's a good question. Yeah, when did your show become that?
I don't know. I was like, well, I mean, I used to lean a little left, and now I lean more the other way, probably. But I mean, I'm not what the fuck do you mean QAnon? You know? And he's I'm like, well, you look like a fucking Nazi. You're like
a dreadlock Nazi.
So here's a guy who, he hasn't been on the show in forever. He hasn't talked to me as a friend in forever. And the first thing he says to me is, when did your show become a whatever? And I'm like, kind of like, fuck you, like, what the fuck? Like, I've asked him to do shows, like, and hey, come back and want to do something. Hey, what have you been up to? And he would barely do anything or say, he wouldn't answer me really.
That's the thing about you, man. I got to give you credit. No matter what the situation is, no matter who you've fallen out with, me included, you always ask if you want to come back. You always, like, time goes on, you always checked in, even when I wasn't, like, ready to talk and ready to fucking be cool and shit. You always checked in. It never felt like disingenuous or anything. You always did that, and I've always been appreciative of that, man. You don't let that shit go very easy. You're if you like somebody, you like somebody, and you just want to hang out. Why do you think that is, man? I mean, that's something I've always noticed about you, and I think that's a pretty good example. Tasevich, people can leave your life just no problem, and you're welcoming back in. You think that's where does it stem from?
I don't know. There's a lot to get into about that because I mean, even recently, I really am I'll just be honest. I'm pretty down on myself that like there must be something really wrong with me that like I really seem to turn people into like not liking me or that I've done, like I've just seemed to have, and part of it is like, the wrestling vibe and people, and the way YouTube is anyway, like,
sure.
With any groups on YouTube and people and co-hosts and friends, everybody has these falling outs everywhere. It's always very weird.
Yeah.
And I don't think that environment does well with me because I do enjoy, I enjoy messing around. And, if we have a fight one night or something, or, if we have an issue at some point, it's fun to jerk around with it. But like, I don't like things to last. And I don't like to do like, I like telling crazy jokes about someone or getting in a weird situation where you call someone like a dick sniffer and like hope your mother gets hit by a car.
Right, yeah.
That's stuff to me that I just would forget tomorrow. Like it would be so goofy. But when people strategize to do terrible things to you, that's when it's like, ooh, like I don't like that. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to hurt somebody for real. Like and maybe words do hurt when you make a joke, but but yeah, so I seem to have this weird thing, but coming in and out of my life, I don't know. I think that I'm the type person that like I'm super social sometimes, and then sometimes I go secluded. And the people that understand, and that's a hard person to deal with.
Yeah.
And I think the people that know that about me, that I don't communicate very well sometimes, even though the weird thing is that's my skill, is communication usually.
Right.
But
It's a
it's also,
juxtaposition, isn't it?
yeah, it's like there's a hindrance. So like if you understand that Joe goes missing sometimes or doesn't communicate the best, he's not the most offensive communicator sometimes, then you'll understand me and be okay. But the people that don't understand that will sort of take it as like, oh, he's like avoiding me, or he's a dick or something, like, and a lot of people take it that way. So, and that's not what it is. But I think, with Tosevich, I think he just didn't want to, he didn't want to be part of the shows that we were doing with the over the top Howard Stern like stuff,
Right.
and I think at the time too, like, I think Tosevich and even Tommy and you guys are very smart with the climate of the world. I wasn't at the time. I was like, no, let's do the most shocking shit ever. That's so ridiculous. Like, and I didn't even believe sometimes, things that I would do and say, but I would do them just to be like, this is gonna be so ridiculous.
Well, we were a last bastion of that was the gimmick, though, Joe. See, I want to give you a little bit of leeway on that. Part of the show and why it was successful is we were the last bastion of the Attitude Era, reviewing this new era of dog shit, essentially. And we came at it from different. I never thought about it like that then, but I've definitely thought about it in hindsight. And we came at it a little bit differently. So for us to act like it was still Attitude Era, and especially now, would you go too far at times? Jesse Jackson would say yes. But
not Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton, excuse me. Oh, I was about to say all the same, but then I'm getting canceled too. So
Jesus, it was, I tried to reverse a joke and it didn't work at all.
No,
And
it never works.
Really bad. It's not even like a joke, really, but it was just to like prove a point. But it was like ridiculous.
Sorry, Randall, you can't take it back. It's just kind of how it works. But it's a crazy thing, like the whole. So that's what I think it was. So I don't think you have to give yourself too much of a hard time. It's a shock jock radio show, and unfortunately, we have this era now where everyone has to apologize. Joe Rogan had to apologize for. There was a lot more to that politically. Obviously, they tried to get him on one thing, couldn't, so they go after the next fucking thing, and they'll keep going if they feel it's fucking necessary. But hell, even The Rock fucking flip-flop faster than a goddamn sandal. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this whole world's nuts now. We've gone in the opposite direction of everything. It's
feels
crazy.
Like it. And it's almost like they're trying to weed it out completely. But then we still get these popular guys. Pat McAfee's a great example of this. That's the same type of fucking show that we've been doing forever, that you've been doing for fucking ever. It's a buddy type long format show where we talk about fucking everything. That's what Pat McAfee built. He's one of the biggest podcasters on the planet right now, and he does it for what does that make you feel, knowing that you've been doing this for as long as you have? And so is he, to be fair. It's not like he just started it himself.
When did he start? Because I didn't know when he started. Like, I thought
after he retired. Like,
wow.
Almost immediately. So he retired at like 29 years old after all pro fucking punting season, after all pro punting season. Wanted to be a fucking writer. PTI puts him on blast for it. Micah Wilbon calls him an idiot and says, don't let this guy anywhere near TV. All these other guys shit on him. ESPN says no. Everyone says no, right? So he says, fuck it. My buddies believe in me. They quit their fucking jobs. They build a studio and they do it themselves, and they get picked up by Barstool.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, that was, when I watch him, I go, yeah, this was sort of the idea, that I didn't have that idea to get that big, but that's the problem is, man, that's why you set your goals to be nuts, because the problem is people set their goals. Jordan Belfort says that, the problem is, a lot of people say this quote, but it's that, like, the problem isn't people set their goals and they don't hit them. The problem is they set their goals and they do hit them. And he set a goal that was probably a very high standard. I set a goal of, I want to have fun and have this little show where, I hope I get a couple thousand subs. I was like, dude, if I could have 3,000 subs, I used Armchair Directors as the measuring point. Like, they had 3,000. They still to this day only have like 5,000 subs.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't it like a lot of the guys that we were around, they either didn't grow at all anymore, they left completely, but still going. And I've gone back to wrestling, isn't that some of the last bastion of that?
It's all of our energies, man. It's if you put into this what you can, like, and you go over to the top, and you really put in everything you can and go full on out. Like, I used a guy like Robbie Hyde the other night. This guy's into baseball. He spent a lot of time watching my show, and he decided to do baseball. and he launched a channel. And for about a year and a half, he had a pretty nice little viewership of, 20 to 50 live viewers. And he started getting that pretty quickly. And he was like, damn, it's working, but it took him a grind to get there. But now he's 2 years into it. And now this just started a few months ago that he has 1,000 viewers every time he streams.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, dude,
sick.
see, but that took him, how many people would have quit within 3 months, 2 months, 5 months, whatever. But he grinded and grinded and grinded and did better and better and better as he went. So you just got to stick to it and keep kicking ass and things like that. And the thing about like, when, you were telling your story earlier, you and Tommy were doing podcasts originally, and, Tommy came onto my show because he found me.
Yeah. Him and I had fallen out, and, he kept going, doing his thing. I went my way and doing my thing, soul crushing radio boys. And and then he found you.
And when I found him, even I thought he had some big channel, and when I got to his, I don't remember how many he had. He had like 100 subs at the time.
Yeah, it was like 150 subs.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, this guy doesn't have a lot. I thought he was like a bigger thing, but like I heard him and was like, you should be bigger. This is my type of like thing to listen to. I love listening to this style. And like we had that Howard Stern and radio connection, and I think I was threatening to kill like
Sounds about right.
somebody on the Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Penguins.
yeah, you were threatening to kill somebody in hockey.
Like he was like he decided not to come to Boston. He was gonna come to Boston. Then he said he's not coming to Boston. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, and I hope you get stabbed and all these things. And like I just like was going crazy. And him and Jake heard that, and Jake Link.
God,
and
Jake Link.
He's dead now. Rest in
He's
peace.
dead, yeah. Poor Jake Link died. He went to a Rocky Horror Picture Show and died choking on a hot dog.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
It was, he's dead, but it's, no, I'm friends with him on Facebook.
I know you did a show with him recently too. You had him on the channel. Well, that was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. Yeah. I was like, who do I know that's like, I think I like talented people. I like people that are fun and talented. I reach out to people. Like, yeah, I've even like, dude, I worked with people who fucking shit on me, and that's how I found them. And I was like, hey, this guy's pretty good. Like, I would work with you. And that turned out to be a big mistake, but
it happened. Yeah, you usually trust your instincts. They're enemies for a reason,
But I like people, and I like different talents. Everybody has a different talent. You like that too. I know that about you. You love.
It's all about stories, man.
Remember that? You did that show.
Which one?
You interviewed people about their talents and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, Creators Corner, where I would have people on just like whatever they were doing their thing on. Yeah, it was fun. I had Leon Creators Corner. Your wife.
Yeah, Leah was on there, yeah. And then now she's just on the corner. I mean, it's helping me make money now. It's crazy.
A hard time. Hey, before we get to too much other things, I wanna put you over for a second too, man.
This is awkward.
I know it's a little awkward, but I do know you shit on yourself quite a fucking bit. But let me say something, dude. You talked about the grind for a moment ago. Well, you are say whatever you want about Joe Cronin, all right? And Lord knows a lot of people fucking have. You work a job. You've got like 17 fucking kids, redheaded fucking kids running around that house. You got a fucking house. You got a wife. You fucking do 1 million streams a day. You fucking keep all this shit grinding. You have a team. You got people that you work with. You keep it all together. Aside from Prozac, how do you do it?
I wish I had Prozac. That could probably help. I am convinced that if I could get my hands on some, what's that shit that begins with an A that Roman took?
Oh, Adderall?
Adderall, yeah. If I could get some Adderall, I think I could become dangerous. Like I could become like a super hero or something. Like I don't know.
I like how you hesitated on hero. Hero.
Yeah.
That's what they call me.
Like a super dangerous YouTube person. Like if I could get Adderall, I think that would help. And my wife would probably like me a lot more if I had Adderall and I wasn't like leaving shit all over the house. She used to be like, my wife used to be like, and it's only in the last 5 years that she's realized this. She's like, I thought you were just like being so lazy and stupid. She's like, but no, you have a problem. She's like, you need drugs or something. I'm like, yeah, because I'll put something down, forget it, start doing something else, then wonder where that thing was, and then forget about the third thing and she's like, yeah, this is you got mad ADD. I'm like, yep.
But isn't that part of that grind though? That's part of the habit. To keep it going, you got to do 50 things at once and hope that you at least remember 45 of them. If you only forget 5 of 50, what's the big fucking deal?
Yeah.
Ain't a big fucking deal, you know. Shit, that's other people's problem. Fuck, pick it up. It's a problem.
You know, Jesse, we were talking about this earlier, but you know, Jesse used to say like
He's dead, right?
now, well, he's dead inside, but he's
well,
alive.
Yeah, as long as I've known him, he's dead
He
inside.
should be dead. Yeah, he should be dead. He's not.
God's been trying to kill him a long time.
Well, I think that's the problem is God isn't killing him. He's mad about that.
Oh, he's pissed off that God won't finish the job, huh?
Yeah. Oh, he would love it if that could happen. He also suffocates dogs.
Well, that's not good. PETA's gonna get your ass.
Some people
on
shoot them when they're out of their misery to shoot them or whatever.
He suffocates them and looks in their eyes as the light goes out.
Yeah, well, he looks away as he suffocates them.
Oh,
but,
well, okay. He's still got his soul.
It's okay, you know. But yeah, no, it's there's so much to say, to catch up on, and to bring up, like, about what we could go, because there's just everything's a growing pattern. And he would say like, oh, everybody you get yourself involved with, elevates, and whatever that means. See, that's what he would say to me, to be when trying to be positive to me. He'd be like, dude, everybody you ever worked with, talked to, or whatever, you elevate people in a good way. And he's like, that's a cool thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool, I guess. But everybody has their own individual thing that they're already good at. Like, you can't take anything. It's just, it does feel like a bit of a hub, like for like where, stuff, turns pretty good for everybody, which is great. The only time I ever got a good rub though from someone else was when I worked with JD. He reached out to me randomly, and I didn't even know who he was. And I was like, damn, this guy has a very similar opinion to me than me. And, that was pretty good for a while. He gave me a lot of viewership, a lot of listeners and stuff like that. So that was huge, because I had probably at the time, probably 50% of my audience then became people from his side of things. So that was a huge help for me.
To speak on something you just said, there's no question about that. Your place is a proving ground for anyone who really wants to do this or not. Like Tommy and I have talked about this quite a few times, especially recently. We were prepared for everything that happened with Keemstar because of where we started with Monetize This, because of the wrestling community, because of JCS. You guys are all fucking nuts, and that community. Pour honey on your titties and kill yourself. Remember those fucking days? I
was gonna bring that up tonight. No, pour honey on your titties and kill yourself.
My God. So I was prepared. Tommy was prepared. We were ready for that. And a lot of people, if they go into it, they can't handle it. It's a lot to deal with. It's more than anyone could think of. If you can, and that's a few hundred. And when we go to the drama community, where the growth potential is far fucking greater, let's just be honest, there's more people watching that, but it's the same content, Joe. It's the same fucking style. It's no different. They go live after events. They talk about the shit, and they hope that people call in and get crazy. It's the same fucking shit. So we were ready for it, and you were a big part of that. And you have a real good way of kind of, people find their roles with you. They know that you tend to be really good at just getting that person in their strength and into their zone, and let them be confident with it. And that's what happened with me too. You let me slide the first night. You slid me right into the number 2 spot. You gave me the ball, and it worked. And then we just were able to go right through it. You gave me the confidence that I needed, and you always made sure that I was building something of my own. And I got to thank you for that, because it's always helped me. And I've tried to have the same mindset with anyone that I've worked with since.
Well, I think that I work better too when I can do a solo show. I can certainly do solo shows. I can do news. I can rant. I can do all these things. I can do my own little thing. But I think I do even better job when I have smarter people working with me, or talking with me, or whatever, or bouncing stuff off me, always whatever. So, you guys helped me a shitload. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I had Chris, and I was doing my thing, and I was really learning at that point. But once I got people like Tommy involved, and, Jesse, and these characters, it's people that are good. It's like Artie Lang on Howard Stern. It's like
perfect example.
It's the same thing. People love that guy. You know what I mean? And people loved. I try to bring people on that people end up loving. The only thing that stinks is when, things eventually don't work out for people, it's a grind though, man. To go on someone else's show and be there for them, like, it's you really have to give up your own shit. Like, and especially if you're not getting paid, right? Or not getting paid a lot, anything like that. It's after a while, you're not going to be able to keep doing it. And I was always hoping to get to the point. We almost did. We really did get to the point where I was paying people, but I was hoping to get to this crazy point where I could really, like, bring people in. But
Rogan McAfee stuff really had people on the payroll.
yes, like that's what I wanted to do, and we were close. We did, and we were paying people, but we could pay people. It's funny to think about. I can't do it now at all, but back in for about 2 or 3 years, like everybody was getting like $100 per episode or whatever it was, a couple $100, whatever it was, depending on the person. And yeah, we almost got to that sort of dream state. And so to see it go up to that level and then kind of drop down to where it is now, and then so you got to realize you can do that again. It's just I'm in one of those down states right now, and with the most responsibility I've ever had in my life. Before, if the show failed, hey, whatever, I got this other job. We're living on the upstairs in my mother's house, no big deal. Now it's like I got big boy problems. I mean, I owe the goddamn rest. I mean, so it's a lot more stressful. So
Sure.
we're putting me through the ringer. But people like you really helped. Tommy did, Tommy C, you, Jesse. I loved those times. I still do. I always liked you. And I also knew too that like, even though there was some things I'm sure that I said that was like, what the fuck? Why would Joe do this or say this? And I think there was times where I would hear you guys say things like, and I'd be like, man, why would they do that to me? Or like, why would they say that? But in the end, I knew that you're somebody that cares. Like, I know that you're a good person in the end. Like that if something, right, as best as you could be, that if I came to you and said, dude, this is like, I'm like, please, like I need help, or this,
absolutely.
you wouldn't be like, F you, that sort of thing. And so like, that's why you said like, why do I reach out? It's because I know you're pretty much a real person. There's a lot of people that aren't real people on this YouTube thing. And while we did shit to each other in the past, there's other people that don't, they're not real. I can tell when someone's just a sick or weird or out there for money type of person after a little bit. And, it's like that I wouldn't want to deal with, but I know what type of person you are. So
do you think that you I don't mean to transition, but I want to transition to something because you touched on something earlier about like people, and I appreciate that very much, what you just said, by the way. I really do. And I feel the same way about you. You care, you give a fuck, and that comes through. Does it always have the best outcome? No, but fuck it, that's life. But
sometimes I shoot myself in the foot too, like with Tommy kind of invited me back into his little bit of graces, like, oh hey Joe, yeah, whatever, okay, once in a while. And I sort of like jerked him around with jokes and weird shit on Twitter sometimes. And I kind of like, he kind of went, oh, fuck you, dude. You're a fucking
It's hard
idiot.
when it's entertainment. Entertainment really it cramps it. It makes it hard. And that was kind of the point I was going for there. Because, it's an entertainment world. So you got to walk this fucking line and try to keep those relationships intact. But while at the same time, knowing that some of the people that you bring in, and I talked really about people like me and Tommy. You knew him and I were doing our own shows, and even before you, and we wanted to after. So we were always going to be a part of what we could do together, but we definitely had our own things. Jesse didn't really. Jesse was cool just being on shows and being just a side guy. I think those are guys that are easier to hang around. Not that they're lack of ambition, but it's lack of ambition in a way, It's just a different, and that might also be why you have issues with some people and not issues with others. It's different personality mindsets, and while we can all easily work together, sometimes because especially when we're all in the same space, it makes it very hard to do so. And jealousy is very easy to come arise, as well as just like, well, fuck, man, where there's only so many viewers, or it could feel that way, or whatever those feelings that might come up. But it's just a natural thing, I think.
Yeah, I think in the wrestling community too, it's just like maybe like the drama community, but in the wrestling community, it's a thing where people jump in your ears. Weird people are hitting you up, telling you. And if somebody else ever says anything about you, people will go to everybody and tell them about it and paint this picture. And what happens is you can easily be manipulated that oh, wow, yeah, this person, maybe this guy is a scumbag, that sort of thing. And that's really, and it really works well with me because what we talked about earlier with Tommy, where I sort of have these two sides, right? The one side that's the like joking around, like character, let's have like, we're kind of fucking around. But then there's the real side of me. And I try to juggle these two things. And that doesn't work for everybody. Some people are just the way they are, and that's who they are, and that's it. But there's a part of me
when you go too far though, too, right? I mean, like, and you've admitted to this. You can't go too fucking far. Well, what is it? What happens when that happens?
Or just do something that's like not appropriate, I guess. Like, I don't know, like there's sometimes where like I'll make a, like I'll do something that's just kind of stupid, like sort of thing. Like, and I thought it was some dumb joke and other people were mad about it, that sort of thing. So, but
Well,
yeah, what did you say? How
do you deal with it? What's the best way to do it? Do you just own it and move on? Do you try to apologize? That's the thing. That's kind of the trick. We deal with it differently because being an everyday live streamer, and especially with topical stuff, you can't really stop. Other people have the ability when they get into a drama or something happens. We kind of rely on those dramas and things to kind of fuel the next show, fuel the next week. Other people, they kind of have to take some time off. Their crowd might fucking not deal with it. Ours kind of depend on it. So what's the best way to deal with when you have these type of fallings out? You've had a bunch of people leave over the years. You don't cancel shows because of it. You keep moving on. Mm-hmm. Is that just because that's your mindset? Show must go on, that type of thing?
I think it's all that. Like, I got to keep doing my show. Like, this, my kids like need to eat, like and all that stuff. But also I like doing it, but just the show moves on. But it's also been proven in my mind that the show always moves on too. Like when you guys left, actually, I was very I was crushed. Like when you guys left, and I was just sad. Like that's the type of person I am. And whether some people don't like it. Oh, Joe, you're fucking poor me or whatever. I think one of the funniest things ever was when Tommy and you did a podcast, and Tommy went like, "Oh, I'll end myself," or something, and it was really funny, like really funny. Like I played the clip the other day and I was dying, and I was like, "That is so me. It's hilarious." I'm super emo, but when you guys left, I did have a bit of a block and I got to tell you, man, if JB, who came on my show at that point, JB started calling in, and Jake DeMarco became my co-host. They really picked me up because I was, I'll be honest, I was doing my shows, but I was not in a good state of mind for a few weeks. It was only a couple of weeks because they came right in to be like, we're going to work with you, And so at the time, JB was sending me his show, and I heard him and was like, "Oh man, this guy is really good." Almost like the same reaction I had when I heard you. Yeah, right. And I was like, "Man, this guy we would do." Actually, he's upstairs. My wife plays a lot of games with him now. Like
I was like, "Whoa, where's that going?" He's upstairs with your wife. Wow,
a lot of sex games.
Must be a good friend. Holy fuck.
I remember when she hated him at first, but now I'm like, no, you're going to love this guy. He's great.
But to be fair, Leah eventually, or at some point, typically hates everybody.
Yes, like she probably, I think she hates you.
Yeah, I know. And there was a time where she loved me. Now, yeah, she hates me now, but that's all right.
That's what we want, though. You need a wife. Like, I just consider it that she's on my team. Like, so she doesn't know any.
She's ride or die.
Right. So, like, you could have been 100% right.
Doesn't
and she'd
matter.
Probably. But then again, I don't know. She'll attack me too and be like, you know what? You do something to people because what the fuck? And I'm like, I don't know what it is. But no. So she's, so JB came in and picked me up, and so did Jesse, and Jake did as well. Unfortunately, Jake left recently because he's just sick, man. He's so bad off right now. That guy's in the hospital every day. He's got a stomach thing where he shrunk his stomach with that thing.
And that's another one God tries to kill randomly all the time. He got shot, didn't he?
You don't want to stay with me. I'm a curse. Either you're going to get mad and leave, or God's going to try to kill you for working with me.
You like the handicap. Fucking Jesse's barely fucking functioning. Tommy NC 2010 is all kinds of fucked up.
He hasn't been 2 years. He's been gone 2 years.
No, I know, but I'm just talking historically. You got my big disabled ass. Tommy C's got whatever mental disability he's fucking got. I mean, like, Jake DeMarco gets shot. Didn't he get his foot cut off from diabetes or some shit? I mean, my God, is he Kamala? What the fuck? I don't know. All kinds of shit happened to that guy.
You have to be that way to want to work with me.
Is that the key?
It's really what it is.
You must be afflicted.
You have to be a psycho or like whatever to have to put up with me.
It
helps.
What I mean?
It does help to be on like edge or the end of your life, and you're like, all right, I'll work. I've gotten to the point where this fucking guy with a backwards hat and a puka shell necklace on YouTube, I think I'd like to talk to him about wrestling on a fucking Monday night. Yeah,
it's gotta be a rowdy night, folks. My God.
I think I have a conspiracy that, Jake DeMarco isn't sick. He just lost that weight from the stomach sleeve operation, realized he could have sex with his wife, and was like, fuck this. Like, I'm out of here.
My Monday nights do not need to be taken up anymore.
He's going through crazy shit. He always has, dude. He used to be on my review, and I used to tell him, dude, don't even bother tonight. Just go rest. And he's like, no, I'm going to be there. And I'm like, okay. And he'd be on my stream throwing up blood on the show. Like, and sometimes I would cut, and I'd have to cut away because I saw him going like, and he would have a napkin with him, and he would
So you don't play the videos or voice clips when someone calls you with whooping cough anymore, you fucking asshole.
We have been over that.
You don't do that no more. You fuck.
Is the funniest fucking thing
I was
ever.
dying. I dying. I felt so bad I couldn't make a review. I called this prick and he plays it, and they start playing it over and over. Yeah, they do a whole fucking bit where I had whooping cough and I was gonna die.
In all seriousness, bro, that I've thought about that several times. I said it to Jesse. I go, dude, you know what? Even though this was funny, that must have been one of those points where someone was like, man, this guy will do anything for a bit. Like, I'm literally actually like, you know what I mean? Like, I could have died. You could have died in the hospital.
I was sick as fuck.
See, in my warped mind too, I was terrified for you and I was scared. I mean, seriously, like I was very scared. Like I was worried about you. So dealing with that in comedy is my way, but also the idea to keep you like part of the show, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Now, and maybe that makes me like the bad guy, Vince McMahon, like, oh, Owen Hart just died. Let's keep the show going, you know, like, but that is sort of like, that is probably one of the worst things that I've done. Like,
I don't even think that's that bad, honestly.
We didn't, but I know we were worried that you were like actually worried. Like I was texting Jesse, like, dude, I'm really worried about this. You should see what he looks like in the hospital. And then I played the message, and then I was like, man, this just sounds so funny for some reason. And we put the music. I couldn't
fucking breathe, and they started playing a actual whooping cough guy like died. And the fucked up thing is they used the call from a guy who died like on a call and shit. He's like, oh my god.
No, and we were playing the Forrest Gump theme behind it too. Like, and you're like, hey guys, it's me, Dave. I'm not gonna be on the show, guys. I'm in the hospital, and then we're playing.
It's so good.
Like, no, man, that is one of the top memorable things.
It was
from
good
back.
times. That was.
Thank God you're okay.
Thank God I lived to talk about
really bad. No, dude, if something happened to you, that would have been rough. You know what I mean?
Hey, who was the first person who did a whatchamacallit for me? GoFundMe for when I had my stroke. You went up within hours.
Yeah, but then I got criticized for that.
Well, yeah, you're always gonna get criticized for shit like that. Yeah, you can't do anything right. No one's ever gonna fucking be happy with it. So fuck them. Do your thing.
Well, that doesn't matter. Who cares? I wouldn't care if someone shit on me for doing that. Like, who gives a fuck? All that mattered was, can we get money to this guy that needs it? Like, that's all that matters.
Help my fucking medical bills. They charged me like €2,000 for a fucking ambulance ride. Socialist, my ass.
That's crazy. Yeah, so much for that shit. Dude, wait till we fucking, who knows what's going to happen around here going on in the future here. We're going to be, soon they're going to look up these videos of us on YouTube, and we're going to be the first ones rounded up.
Right, exactly. We're going to be all potted up speaking fucking Russian and shit. So it's terrifying.
It's another brick in the wall. We're going to be in the new Wall movie.
We're going to be the wall. Soylent Wall. So going back to 2014, what is that? Fucking 8 years ago. 8 years ago. My daughter was still 9 years old. My daughter was 9 years old. She'll be 17 in April. Can you believe that? And you've got way more kids than you had when I met you. What's that like? Yeah, obviously in general, family, blah, blah, blah. But balancing all the other parts with it, still being a maniac on stream, having more kids. A lot of people would say, oh, wait, isn't that going to slow you down? It hasn't. You still chase your dreams. You still do the things that you do. But now you have kids to experience that with. And we got a big dollar there, $25. I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, how has that impacted everything,
check.
both good
Some of
and
the closest
bad?
people in my industry I have worked with was met via a live stream.
So for a while, it's been really good because, when I got laid off my job in 2017, I just did this. I only started going back to regular jobs a year ago. So I had 17, 18, 19, about 4 years of just YouTube. So
you weren't working at all during those times?
No, I because this was so good, doing so well, and I was like,
I missed the boat on that one, huh? Fuck.
Yeah, I just was like, I could go back to work, and I could certainly go back, but I was so busy with this. I mean, I was making
babies, apparently.
Babies, and 2 times the amount on YouTube that I was making at any job I ever had in my life. So why not just keep doing this? Now, in reality, I wish I went back and did take one so I could save all that money so I wouldn't, whatever. But I had all this time to see the kids, so that was really cool, man. And then
Thank you, Bandu.
to get into the house, so yeah, dude, it is crazy because they're always coming in, they always want to, do something and whatever. So I think the only thing is, I do, you got to carve out that time to spend to do something with everybody. And it is, but Leah does a lot of that. That's why Leah's great. Cause she gets the school stuff ready in the morning and stuff like that. So I can just work and focus on working. So I have a great time. I'm very lucky still. I've been very lucky since the beginning of this thing. I really have been lucky. I'm a smaller YouTuber, but one of the smaller ones. And
I've been got longevity.
Bro, like, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's good, man, to see the kids. Going back to work, though, recently has really opened my eyes to, and I knew it at the time, but going back to work recently at a different job while doing this has really shown me, like, I barely, see them again. So it's like, oh, man, like, I had it great for 4 years where I could see them every second I wanted to.
It's a little bit harder. Yeah, it definitely makes it more difficult, but those are the struggles that we do to continue to pursue the passions of which we love, right?
Well, there's some people out there.
Chug, let me go get 1 second, John. I'm sorry. Big love to the Bandu for the fucking dono. I appreciate you. Here's Beard Chug number 2 of the night. Let's see if we can keep our shit together. Please continue. Sorry about that, Mr. Cronin.
No, bro. Listen, there's some people that go away for weeks to work a job somewhere across seas or across the state or across the country or to dig in a coal mine, and they can't see their kids for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. WrestleMania weekend, when I went to WrestleMania weekend, I came home after just 2 days of being gone, bro. I was fucked. I could never be away from my kids, bro, and I was like shaking.
Are you kind of glad the wrestling dream didn't happen now, knowing that you become a family man and you didn't have to travel? Can you imagine that lifestyle, traveling the way that they do still, even with post-corona and all that? They still got to travel the way they do. Can you imagine that?
You travel, and then I guess you get like a day or 2 or 3 at home now. Sometimes people get that if you're lucky, and then then you got to be gone for 2 or 3 days, and so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would have made it happen if that came along. It certainly won't now, but
old fuck.
Yeah, like, but it's
nostalgia wrestling league. That's what we need to do. 35 and up only.
Dude, I would take those bunny ears of yours. I ripped them to the side. I saw a horror
You want
movie.
These bunny ears, Cronin? You come get these bunny ears. You think you're man enough? The reality is, Joe, you've never been man enough to take these ears from me. You think you might have been. You weren't then. You're not now. You want them? You bring that pale fucking Irish ass down to Connecticut, New Britain, Connecticut, and you come knock on the door of copiousness and you see what these bunny ears bring with them. I'll tell you what they bring with them, Joe. They bring a lot of pain.
You know what? I'm gonna come back from the dead. Yeah, Macho Man style. I'm gonna come down to that broken down piece of shit store you have. I'm gonna take a dump right on the first chair I see. Yeah, right next to Miss Elizabeth's dead body. Yeah.
The Macho Man got good.
Yeah, did it get better?
Wow.
Remember when Jim Cornette didn't like my heart? He didn't like my Bret Hart.
He doesn't like anything. He hates
He doesn't
everything.
like me.
No, to be fair, that's the big fucking group that he doesn't like. That was fucking great, Macho Man. Good Lord.
Yeah, I would rape you in those bunny ears, though. But yeah, man.
I wouldn't blame you. I'm sexy in those bunny ears.
I'm just, we're doing our thing. It's good, and I don't know, man. I'm just I'm pretty thankful for a lot of things. Like you were talking about Tommy and you, and I think you guys really helped me grow a lot. Like I'm serious. Like you and Tommy C really helped me grow a lot as a little bit as a person, and maybe I didn't learn the best lesson, but a lot. You really did. You helped me self-reflect a lot, and I didn't even realize that right away, but you guys really did. Like you made me go like, well, let me see, what am I doing? That's
him and I don't shut up. We like to talk about everything, so that helps.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think, and I do have Tommy would always say that I have like this complex, or that I have this abandonment thing, and I do. Because you know what? I'm always looking to like kind of like ride with people and to have that friend that like, and I do. And Jake, Jake was that type of person for me.
Right.
I'm looking for that guy who's with me, like almost no matter what, just with me, be on my side. And, if I make a mistake, tell me I made a mistake, but I still know that you're on my side. Whereas like, sometimes I feel like, a lot of people, it's just, they completely leave or turn around or something like that. But I'm looking for that kind of camaraderie of somebody who will, you know, be there sort of thing, you know, because like you guys have that. Like I think you and Tommy had that. You guys got into fights over the years and broke up, you know, here or
Him
there.
and I are weird. You know, we just went 16 months. This was the longest this is longer than the one in 2013. We just went 16 months without talking. And yeah, it was a long one. And we've reconnected, especially after RealTalk's death. You know, that was a big one for everybody. Kind of got us all thinking a little bit, you know. But
somebody brought that up earlier in the chat, I think, when I was looking at the chat. And yeah, I thank God, like me and him got in a little thing, and I thank God, like we talked, but like maybe about a year, 8 months before, and thank God, man, we were talking and we were cool again. But it was like I can't even imagine if that had happened and we hadn't talked. Like that would just be a mess, dude. And that was I still can't believe
he's gone. It's fucking insane. And it was the same here. We hadn't talked in a while. We were cool, but we hadn't talked in a while, and we had just reconnected. In fact, he was coming on the show. We had just talked. We set it up 2 weeks before he passed. He was coming on the show to promote all of his new work. He had a new album, everything that was coming out, and it was it was heartbreaking. But definitely one of the things that came out of that was, you know, Tommy and I, that first step of just saying, hey, checking in with each other. And then that's grown since then. And now we're doing Shop from the Point again. And we're talking more. And it's cool. It's a different, you know, we're fucking 40 now. You know, it's just, we've been through all of the things. And Tommy seems more relaxed than which is weird because he's still fucking high tense as fucking ever. But he seems more relaxed and comfortable in the role. And I see a lot of that out of you now, too. Talking to you at a longer length, you just seem to be at ease with it. You're not going to please everybody. People are going to have the opinions. You're easy to hate, you know, because you say so many outlandish things, and you've worked with a lot of people. You've gone through a lot of people, whatever. What is it? And this all had a point. This all builds to a question. What is it do you think is it that makes you so controversial? Why is it that you do seem to have some people that when they hate fucking hard? Why is that? Why do you think that is?
I think it's a lot of things rolled into one, maybe, but I think I attract a certain type of person too. But I also think that it's got to be when you live on the edge, you might die on the edge, I guess. Yeah. Maybe, you know. And I think a lot of the stuff is maybe self-inflicted, you know, and maybe it plays into my ADD, you know, that I'm so erratic. You know what I mean? That I'll hurt myself through something several times. And, you know, I'll say things that people don't like. But one thing that I do hear a lot is sometimes I'll say something or I'll do something that I really didn't think was a big deal at all. Right. And I thought it wasn't a big deal. But it's being kind of made into it's a very big deal. Or something that I said. Shit. Yeah, like, and something that I said was taken a different way, and I'll hear it and be like, oh my God, that's not at all what I meant. Or that's not what I was trying to do. Right. Like, that's one of the biggest things is when I see, and sometimes
you dig in. When that happens, you dig in because you're one of those people who do not like being told they did something they didn't do. I've always known that about you. That drives you fucking nuts. So even when it's a misunderstanding, I think that's something that happens really easily. I've seen it. It's happened with you and I before. So there'll be a misunderstanding. I'll say that's what happened, and that's not what you said, or there was a variation, or it's not how you meant it. Mm-hmm. So you'll just automatically dig in. Boom. And there won't be any way to wiggle from that because it's simply, no, I didn't do that. That's it. And that can be difficult to because there's nowhere to go with that. You know,
or like, I don't even want to give it I wouldn't even respond to that because I'll think that the person is making stuff up on purpose. Like, oh, they have some kind of like, what's the word? Like agenda. They have some kind of agenda to paint this a certain way. They don't, because they couldn't really believe this. You know what I mean? So I'll think like, oh yeah, this person's just doing this to hurt me on purpose. That's what this is. They're not real. So that's why I have that. Yeah, that maybe that reaction of like, oh, they're just doing this to smear me because there's no way you would really believe this.
How could you? Yeah.
And I start saying stuff, and now that adds to like what they thought, or you thought, or I thought, or where we were arguing. So yeah, I think it's that, man. I think it really comes down to the same thing it came down to in the beginning about communication.
Right.
It came down to that. You know, Tommy brought that up way back in the day. I think that's always going to be a thing with me. I think it really is. But then other people do things that are so far, I feel like, to another level,
and it'll be okay.
Yeah, like how come, you're gonna be okay because you took it to this insane level, but all because you misunderstood this little thing I did and you painted
Right.
it in a molehill, a mound in a molehill about nothing, like, and so that's okay. So it's
That's
just
the
weird.
bitch of perspective. That's
Mhm.
like you could see it from a place that no one else fucking can. That's perspective. So it's like you'll be saying that, and that's completely rational, right? At least from your perspective. But other people be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" That's no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no winning there. It's just kind of is,
It's
and
like, but it's like I know when I did something like I said about Tommy when
sure.
Tommy was me and him were being cool for a second on Twitter, Tommy C, and like I sort of was being like a weird fuck on Twitter, and he was like he kind of called it out, like he didn't have time for like let me play fucking games,
No,
and I was
not
kind of like, oh,
anymore.
no, like fuck, I didn't mean to ruin our like, and it sort of just made me go, damn, I really suck, and that was my fault. That was all my fault. What I was doing was being kind of dumb, like, and immature and stupid, just trying to be funny. Like, it pissed him off, and like that sort of ended everything there. And I just said, okay, I'm gonna stay away from him now because I obviously can't, control myself around this guy.
Right.
So, and so like that's all my fault. I know what I did. So there's sometimes when I do things, I know what I did. Like I
Sure.
know exactly what I did. And there's also times that I realize like you gotta be the one sometimes to say, I'm sorry, let's talk about this, let's figure this out. And when you cut that communication off and then you start building onto it without talking to people, it will just grow and grow into bad shit. Like I did that to you guys, all the time because remember you and Jesse would talk and that would irritate me that you were talking somewhere else about me.
Right. Not
And I'm
even
like,
about
oh,
you. It didn't even have to be about you. You would think about it was about you, and that would create an issue.
yeah, like,
And
oh,
that,
they're against me somehow. Like they have something like they don't talk to me about it, but now you want to talk to me though, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk. Fuck you.
it's so funny when I reflect on things. Like I'm always the guy that somebody will bring something to, and I don't like that. I don't like if someone's gonna bring something to me, I want to fix it. So I'm like, well, let's fucking fix it. So the obvious thing is, well, let's talk to the person that we're having the issue with, and we'll fucking confront it. Nothing bad's gonna happen. And everyone else is like, what are you talking about? Everything bad's about to happen. No, you talk. That's how it works. You talk. It's good. And then I walk in there, we start talking. It's like, oh God, what is happening? But that's people, man. And I think it's just sometimes it needs to happen too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I got to be 100% honest. That being having to stand on my own because I shot from the point was going and all that, but I wasn't there a lot. Tommy was starting to do his own thing again. He was starting to build, and then the Catch 33 thing started. But I needed that initial experience. And in some ways, I don't mean to use a fucking lame-ass term, but I needed that first heartbreak, too. Because it wasn't the same thing as like when Tommy and I stopped talking, because I've known Tommy since the fucking Army. Unfortunately, I will know that motherfucker until I have my last breath. I'm 100% fucking sure of that. He is my cross to bear on this planet.
You just got to make sure you're on good terms, like at the time when you're gonna die. That way he can, it's not weird, like.
But
so
you were my first like YouTube breakup. You know what I mean? Like of any consequence, like friendship and showship, and there was definitely a personal loss when it comes to show stuff. We were in the same space. I was growing a wrestling channel. And so being able to survive that and learn how to, I think it was around 500 subs when that happened. And and then I was able to build it before Catch 33 happened. I built it almost to 3,000. And I'm really proud of that, man. I wasn't sure I could, but it was because of the groundwork that we put together. We fucking learned stuff and went on to it. I was able to make out a little fucking thing on my own. And I owe a lot of that to the lessons that I learned in JCS. And I've always been consistent with that, even through the fucking, the dark times, or as it's become known as the Cronin Walls. The vaunted Cronin Walls.
I can't believe you guys call it that.
I don't call it that. They call it that. You know how stupid people are. Good God, they love calling it the Cronin Walls. Call it the Cronin Walls. Speaking of wars, go ahead.
No, I just always say like, oh, my first co-hosts. They were.
No, it was the Cronin Walls, the Dark Ages,
but
before AEW.
That's true. That was a long time before.
That was a long time ago. I gotta ask you though. So speaking of wars. We've had some legendary shit over the years, and I'm not even talking personally. You have warred both in real and kayfabe with just about everyone, but back in the day, they were a little more nuanced. What's your favorite old school fucking beef? You know, JD became a later one, but you had some wrestling beefs. You had some guys in the wrestling community that you fought with. Some prolific guys. Some guys who want to show you the dick. And others of that nature. What's your favorite beef of that era?
Well, like way back, like,
Yeah,
I don't know,
I'm talking never fold back.
oh God, never fold. Fuck that guy. That guy beat a kid.
Yeah, I heard about that. He's going to jail.
Yeah, Tommy had that guy pegged to the T. I'll tell you that. But yeah,
never fold. That might have been the guy that made Tommy C. Like to cemented that character of Tommy C. That making never fold might have been the moment Tommy C. really was created.
I should have known not to fuck with Tommy after what he did to Neverfold. You know, I'm also not prepared to go to war with people I really do actually like a lot.
I'm with you on that. I never liked it.
So, but no, I don't know. Back then, man, I don't know. There were all these little stupid things. You know, there was that crooked-eyed motherfucker wrestling otaku. He's still around to this day. A fucking cocksucker is still around to this day. Bruce Blitz, I remember.
Is Blitz still around? You hated Bruce Blitz. Is he still around?
I think I really just hated him because people called me him because I had the backwards hat and they were like, oh, you look like Bruce Blitz. And I'd be like, dude, go fuck yourself.
He was the first guy to say, fuck YouTube, I'm getting a .com.
Yes. And then on his way out, on his way leaving YouTube, he went on a rant about me, which thank you. I consider a win.
SFTP with $1. Thank you very much. I don't think it's the real SFTP, but thank you very much for the $1.
About, I don't know, like,
who's this bum? Bandu earlier, $25 hydration check. Some of the closest people in the industry I have worked with was met via YouTube live stream. By the way, Bandu, that guy Bandu who donated $25, I've known him since I was in AIT in the Army. That goes back to 2002, Fort Gordon, Georgia, Augusta, Georgia, United States Army. That's fucking crazy, right? Sorry.
That is crazy. No,
go
that's
ahead.
wild.
What were you saying?
Thank you for your service. Because I'd be too much of a pussy to go.
I don't believe that. You're the right type of crazy for the military.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do well with the authority. I'd end up getting they would beat the shit out of me. They'd be like, you know what?
Beat up a drill sergeant?
See, I don't think I could do it. Not now. Now I'm too I can't even, dude. Like they were telling me I had to do something at this job a year ago, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, basically like a prima donna or something. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And they were like, why? I was like, because I could work somewhere else and just do this. And like, I'm not doing that. And they
I'm
were
Joe Cronin.
Well, no, it was that I had these sales numbers. So they were like, well, okay. And they didn't know what to do. I'm like, what are you going to do? Get rid of me?
Right.
You can hire someone else who sucks? Like, all right. And they fucking had to do it. Like, tough. But speaking of that, you know, I walked into a new place that I almost started working at recently. But I was there for materials for the place that I work at now.
Mm-hmm.
I go into the warehouse and the guy brings me into the back. And after a few seconds, I have this fucking, because I was recording because I had to memorize the things he was telling me. And my boss was like, yo, record that just so you remember the numbers, write it down, tell him. And I'm like, okay. So he goes, you look really familiar. And I'm like, oh yeah, why is that? You know, like, cause I'm like, he's staring at me weird. And he goes, yeah, you look familiar. And then he said, you YouTube or something? And I'm like, and then he goes, Joe Cronin? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck, this guy knows who I am. What the fuck? And I told my wife, she's like, he probably knew you the whole time, but didn't want to say it.
Right.
Didn't know. Yeah. So that was weird, dude. So that happens. That's a weird fucking thing when you're at work and somebody recognizes you.
Oh, yeah.
And we're at a meeting and then somebody said, oh, how do you guys know each other? Cause he was like, he brought it up, and then the guy was like, how did you know each other? Luckily, the guy goes, oh, you know, we're just old
internet
pals.
Friends. Yeah, right.
And I was like, oh my God, thank God, bro, that you didn't just say like, oh, he's got this YouTube, and then now everyone's looking it up and seeing me be like, suck a dick! Oh, like whatever the fuck. So I'm like, thank God you didn't.
You want to eat my asshole?
You want to eat my fucking asshole? Rape your family! I'll rape everyone you know! Like, and now they're like, what the fuck kind of show is this?
Well, that guy's fired. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, you're a psych. Now, they probably would have liked it, but it would have been weird because then they would be everything. And then I couldn't talk shit about all of them because I'd come on here and go, yeah, you know my fucking manager, he's got no dick. Yeah, now he's like, you talked about me last night?
What was that? I don't have a dick, huh? Well, guess what you have? Double shift the rest of the month. Hi-yo.
Right.
Yeah, that
Dude,
would make your life a lot harder.
Hey, it could be crazy. I forget what the original thing that you were saying is.
It doesn't matter. Hey, who gives a fuck? This is, I gotta be honest. It's just cool that we've been able to. We've done an hour already, and just fucking feels like
Wow.
it flies by. I want to talk to you a little bit about what you're doing currently, because I got out of wrestling for a while. Like, just not even just covering it. I didn't watch it a lot. I just couldn't. There was everything about it. It was like I attribute it very close to how I felt about the NFL 5 or 6 years ago. Just there was something about it that changed fundamentally. I hated the bitterness, especially with the AEW coming up, all the fucking cheap shots constantly back and forth, and the fans, the fucking fans, the idiot asshole fuckhead fans that make everything about themselves, even though that's what we do as entertainers. It just drives me fucking nuts that the onus is no longer on the wrestling. It's about the reaction to with the fans and all these stupid little nuances and the wrestling journalism. And it took me out of it completely. You navigated the waters through all of it and continued to hate vehemently with every fiber of your being right up until today.
Well, it's worse than ever today. So.
Yeah, I know. The numbers are worse than ever. Like nobody's watching any fucking more, it feels like. But yet, you persevere, you've gone through it, and you've even had growth. You're at 70,000 fucking subs, man. That's nothing to shake at. Still, even in the wrestling community, we don't have any juggernauts in that community. So, I mean, there's something to that longevity. How have you not fucking destroyed yourself with a pickaxe at this point, having to watch this product every fucking week? Because, good Lord, I can't do it.
Well, it's really rough. Mondays are bad, and I'll be honest, man. Like, I am in a very Jake made things a lot better for me. When I was on Monday nights, the good thing was I got to talk to him, and he would bounce off ideas and bounce off some things that I wasn't thinking about. And it was such a good time to at least be able to do it with him, but it was really rough, dude. Raw is torture. And what's funny is we used to say that, like, even 7 years ago and 8 years ago and whatever, the show, whatever. But I go back and watch those reviews, and there were so many things that we did that we talked about, and it's so dead. It's like devoid of anything. It's devoid of thought, creativity, and that's why the fans are running amok, acting crazy, because there's only about 1 million people watching AEW, and they're frustrated too.
Oh God,
The WWE fans that actually care are frustrated, and that's about 500,000 to 1 million people, maybe. Then you got the million zombies that watch them. They don't fucking know what
they're called. Children, Cronin. They're called children. It's a good market to tap into. Them kids are stupid.
The kids now are retarded. I'll say that
even more so than ever. Yeah,
than ever before, and they're just the weird shit, and so that's why everyone's so angry, because they're not entertained. If they were entertained, they wouldn't be fighting like this. They just wouldn't. So it's a combination of social media and the way that we all are now with the way it is with everything, because even things that are good, people fight, so
everything.
so there's your example. Fucking Game of Thrones is good. They're still fighting,
Well,
but
Game of Thrones, 96% of Game of Thrones was fantastic, except for those last 3 episodes. But we don't got to talk about that.
But
I'm still not ready.
And if you think about it, the fan base was better then in the last, even in the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones. Twitter, nobody fought like that. They had discussions where they were like, well, but see, I think it was okay that they did that because the dragon can, whatever, and it was constructive almost. But when people get toxic is when they don't agree.
Wrestling's always been insane. Our fan base is different.
That is true.
It's still real to me. You go to conventions and people are fucking throwing chairs at each other back in the day. And we were separated by those fucking wonderful white pages in a magazine, those dirt sheets. That's what separated all of us psychopaths, except for when we met up at conventions and hopefully didn't pull a gun on one another. Nowadays, we can confront each other constantly. We can track where people are going. Shit. Think about the marketing thing that you've used. How many JCS signs have you gotten on Raw and SmackDown and AEW shows simply by talking about it, and your fans are bringing them to the shows?
I'm in the goddamn new game. I'm in the fucking game, for Christ's sake.
Are you fucking really?
Have you seen this? People keep sending me screenshots. If you go to the Create a Wrestler, it's one of the videos has the sign in it, and people are like, "You're in the fucking game."
You got a
forever.
JCS sign? That's fucking dope.
These people bring signs. It's fucking amazing, dude. There's less than ever now, but when I was in the heyday, 2017, 18, there were just fucking signs everywhere.
That's fucking dope, though, man.
But like Bully Ray wanted to kill me because of what I said on Twitter. I mean, Jim Cornette got mad at me for what I said on Twitter.
You
So
can't get mad about Cornette, though. Cornette is mentally.
I love that. That's a trophy. That's a goddamn trophy.
It's a big one. But all you got to do is say you hate Trump and you get or say you like Trump and you get fucking booted from him. Yeah,
that's true.
Hard.
All I said to him was, I want to give you some money to fight with Santino Marella on my show. that's what he got mad at. He got mad at that. I'm like, what the fuck? And I said, it's also that I tweeted him 3 times about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you bugged him. I got an autographed book. I got a buddy who works with Kenny Bolin. I got autographed. Yeah. He said I can get an interview with him, too. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, you can certainly. You got to be careful with him, though.
Oh, I've heard.
Oh, I remember his son is a very extreme type of person.
Oh, is he really?
Like a left extremist type person.
Oh.
And because I remember I was on there one time. He said he wants to kill all conservatives or something. So at the time, Dave Rose said,
"Oh no, not devious Dave Rose, the Canadian catastrophe! Holy shit!"
I may be misremembering this a little bit, but I believe Dave said something to the effect of, we'll kill him. Like,
oh, that sounds like a Dave Rose fucking thing. We'll take him to the loose moose and we'll kill him.
We'll kill him, yeah. And I'm like, he's got my number. Like, I didn't know he was crazy. I didn't know he was like this, But Bolin also said that I stole. So Bolin said that I stole money from my listeners. I used the donation money on my show. Right. To buy front row WWE tickets. And he went on his podcast, selling this to people.
Really? And
I went, oh, what the fuck? And so that's one of those things, Dave, that we talk about. And I said, so I did a stream where I held up the tickets because they say comp because Road Dogg gave them to me. So I'm holding up the tickets telling everybody, oh, yeah, who's the fucking that's slander, you fat fuck. And I was like, oh. Like, you fucking slanderous piece of shit. He probably just made that up because he figured, he bought front row tickets, to go to the show and people donate to him. I'm like, nah, bro, I didn't use my donation money to buy front row WWE tickets. They fucking gave me these tickets. You fucking
got that count by the Road Dogg. So I think a lot of people have a misconception about that like maybe WWE hates you and shit. But the reality, you've had a little bit of conversation every so often. You've had a little interaction. You got some comp tickets. But now Road Dogg's fired.
Yeah, now I have no.
You got no more ins?
Road Dogg off.
Oh, you pissed the Road Dogg off. What'd you do to Jesse James?
I said the show sucked one night, and he was like, he blocked me.
No, that's soft.
He tuned into the show, and he was like, really, Joe, I don't think there's any pleasing you. And I said, my response to him was literally I have a list printed out that a fan made that sent me all my ratings of WWE.
Team Maker said Prince is 6'4". Good luck. that's James Bolin's son, Kenny Bolin's son.
Yeah. Prince would kick the shit out of somebody.
6'4". Good God.
Prince is a wild dude. He'll kill you. Now, but yeah. So I don't even really know him that well. I heard him say he would kill all conservatives or something, and I told people yeah, he might kill you guys. I mean, I'm not one, but you are. You might kill you. But from what I knew about him, I told Kenny Bolin that I said, I think your son has an amazing voice for radio. He should be on the radio. I said that to Kenny Bolin. I said, this guy's really good. I think, I forgot his name was Prince. I forgot who he was. He's really good. I liked him, and I thought he was so good at that shit. But yeah, Bolin put me on his show, and something bad happened on iTunes, and the iTunes file fucked up, and it wouldn't upload. I sort of was frustrated by it that it wasn't working, and I'd been emailing them to try to fix it, and they finally fixed it, but it was 2 weeks later. So, but for a week, Kenny Bolin was like, you know what? You don't know what, fuck you. You don't know what you're doing. And he got mad, and then he flipped out on me. But at least we got to do the podcast with me, him, and Cornette, because that was fun.
Is that your favorite moment? I mean, it had to be a pretty good one. Over the years, the people that you've gotten to interview and the people that you've gotten to work with, what would be your favorite one?
My favorite interview was Cody Rhodes because...
Oh, especially now, right?
Yeah, I think it was because, Cody reached out and said something back to me after his people got in contact, and then they gave me the tickets to the show, and it was the second AEW show ever, and I have this cool press pass, and so I thought Brandy and Cody were really cool to me after the call, so that was a very exciting time. I think DDP early on was fun to have him on.
I missed that one by days.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because I wanted. he had to call it a weird time too, like in the early
Yeah.
morning or something. Like you would definitely have been asleep at the time. You were
I
in
had to have
Germany.
been, yeah, I was still living in Germany.
He was on Shark Tank the night before, so that got good viewership. And DDP is such a salesman that he knows his pitch. That
Oh God, he's a pro. He does like 4 of these a day.
yeah, and you gotta get him off track, because if you listen to DDP and you hear what he says, he's gonna say the same thing again on your show
Constant.
if you don't get him off the fucking rails of what he's going on.
How do you feel about the Cody Rhodes situation? I mean, like I've been pretty harsh on the whole thing, just because from an optics, I hate using that word, but from just looking at it, it doesn't look fucking good. If you're looking at AEW, I'm not sure if it really does indicate anything. But I've always had my own feelings about how Cody went about everything from the beginning with. I think he's been been dragged around by his dick by that wife of his since the goddamn beginning. But that's just my opinion. You know him a little bit better, and now him going back to WWE. Did you ever think that was a possibility? I mean, I guess with his dad's connection, to Vince and to NXT and stuff, there's always going to be that possibility. But is this surprising to you at all that he's going back? Apparently, debuting at WrestleMania.
No, it's very surprising. I think it all, but unfortunately, Cody says a lot of things, and they don't really kind of materialize. Like he says, hey, we're going to start AEW, and we're going to not do the shock factor, the crazy attitude era stuff. We're not going to have people like Vince Russo, we're not going to do over the top stuff.
And they go
then they
right
do it.
to it immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, they go right into it. So everything he says, he's has a little social justice stuff going on there, and he's got a little bit of a thing. I think Cody, I understand this, because I think this is part of the way sometimes I'm perceived. I think he's perceived this way too a little bit. And so I get it. You know what I mean? Like people that think, oh, you think you're so great and you're this big hypocrite, and so they can't help but want to call it out.
Yeah.
And I think I received this similar, so I identify with that. But, I think he, wasn't the closest with the other guys, wasn't on the same page with the other guys from day one.
Fell out of the boys club.
And so slowly he's drifted away from them. And then I think also the booing, the heel stuff that's been going on with people booing him and turning on him in the company, I think that might actually have played into it a bit. I think he wants to be loved, and wants to be this hero character.
You know what makes it hard though? He's married to literally one of the most unlikable, and I think possibly the most devoid of talented worker I've ever seen, like in a wrestling ring. Outside of it, that woman can fucking announce. She should have just stayed a ring announcer. She was fantastic at it. But Jesus Christ, she can't do anything else. And I cannot fucking do anything else. And Cody is good, but his dad pumped him up with sunshine and fucking vinegar about having these movie star good looks and all this fucking craziness. I think it all got to him. He believed it for a while, and now he's. Do you think this is hard for him to go back to WWE after all this this crazy ride, or is this the obvious choice? Do you think there's vendetta involved? What do you think it's going to look like?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of like, oh, okay, F you then, But I think he's going back on his terms. See, I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan. I actually really like him. Now, some people would be surprised by that, because you would think that I would see the SJW stuff and his wife and things like that, and that I would, kind of like hate this guy or whatever. And I don't mind calling that stuff out, because I don't like it. I don't like some of the sort of whatever. I saved, the race and everything, whatever. But I like him in the ring. I love his entrance music. I love his presentation, and I like his style in the ring. The problem for me is I liked him in AEW because he sort of had a different style that brought that classic match to AEW while they were having all these different other style matches. And I thought his matches were great to have mixed in. And now that they're not going to really have that as much, although I think CM Punk is kind of taking that spot. But, so that's my concern, is that it will make AEW worse. But going to WWE, the concern is that, again, that he won't be utilized to his full potential. His full potential was realized on the indies. His full potential was realized in AEW. WWE only usually hinders people. And when Matt Hardy came from Impact in 2016, in Impact, he was killing it. Matt Hardy was my favorite character in wrestling when he was broken in Impact. Yeah. And I loved that so much. I couldn't believe how much I loved the character.
You did love it, and I just still never understood it.
Some people don't like it, but once he left Impact, it never was right again. And in WWE, it didn't work. It was done wrong. They waited too long. They did all the wrong things. And it didn't even work the best in AEW either. But so I'm worried that we're going to get, like, if they play Smoke and Mirrors for Cody or something like that, that is fucking trash.
Right. It's not good.
it better be his nightmare gimmick, his nightmare theme, unless he's coming out like some people think maybe he could come out like his dad to the new Dream music. I want the nightmare. Give me the
I
American.
want something new. This is a chance for
really?
Cody. Yeah, and I started to think that maybe WWE was incapable of doing something like that, but you know who's changed my mind very recently? Edge. That promo he cut on. Did you see that promo? He cut the new music and all that stuff. I love this new little Edge that we got at this age, this. If he could do something like that, not necessarily the same thing, but something new we haven't seen, he could be, I believe he's being brought in to be the draw on Raw. If Roman's not going to eventually make his way to Raw, they need somebody. Big E didn't work. Bobby didn't work. Brock's not staying around. They need somebody. Cody's got to be that guy. I got to feel that's what the move is. Do you think that's the case? Or no?
I think so. They need a face because all the faces, all the people they bring up, I like Cody the way he is. Bring him in as the nightmare. That's what I want to see. I want to see this Cody Rhodes in WWE. If I don't get that, I might get upset. But I don't want some generic music because the music sucks now, except for Edge's new music is good. Roman's is all right. But it's like the music, that's something you could talk about too, is the music has just gone to shit. Like that makes the wrestler, and they got no CFO, no Jim Johnson. Nothing. This new music sucks.
Nothing. Like, hey, at least Edge went back to Alter Bridge.
Yeah, so
at least Edge went back to Alter Bridge.
Well, his reasoning finally, because up until this, he didn't make any sense. He's with Beth Phoenix. They're having a good time. Now suddenly he's a psycho. It didn't make sense until his promo the other night, which was so great. But what I wish they did was, I wish that him and Beth had lost then. Because then it would have sent him like Beth could have been like, it's okay, that sort of thing. And he like kind of shoves her away and then
we lost to the Miz, you dumb bitch.
Yes, yeah. And he's like, it's not Beth's fault. I let you down. I let myself down. I let everybody down. And then he trashes shit and goes away. And we don't see him for a couple weeks or whatever it is until the AJ thing. And then it makes sense that, oh man, he snapped. But instead he gets a win. And now he's complaining about getting losses. And so it's a little whatever, but it's wrestling. So the promo was so good though that it saved it, that it made it make sense in a way.
Oh, by the way, I see Nick Diorio back in the chat. I want to make sure I give a big thank you. He donated $50 before the stream even started. Another $50 after it did. Thank you so much, Nick. I greatly appreciate that, man. We've done a couple of beer checks, and everybody else who has supported throughout the hour and a half we've almost done. I know that you got your shows you do on Sunday and everything as well, so I don't want to keep you too long. So you want to open up some questions? People want to get in the Discord, ask some questions, take some things, and we'll get you out of here.
Yeah, man. I'm cool. I don't think I'm gonna stream tonight. So
you're not doing nothing.
Yeah, but yeah, when you come in, questions, yell. We'll do it all.
Get in the live commentary. You want to talk to Joe Cronin, Dead on Dave. Ask any questions about the past, present, future, and whatever else you might have. Now is the time. But we'll keep going too. I'm not saying we're wrapping up anytime soon, but I just want to go ahead and throw that out there so they.
No, I told you like, oh yeah, I'll come on for like 40 minutes, so you might have, I might have thought I was leaving, but yeah, no. I'm going to be all right for a few more.
Well, that's good. That's good. And old school Matt, you know what? This is actually kind of appropriate. Old school Matt is one of the oldest guys around who knew both of us back in the day. So this is appropriate that he's the first
Old
guy.
School Matt is one of my first callers, and we used to call him Old School in 2015.
Isn't that crazy?
Seriously, the nickname Old School Matt comes from Cronin.
That's true. That's true. What's up, Matty?
Well, what doesn't come from me?
Right, yeah, good guy. Cronin created everything. You know what didn't? You know what he didn't create, though? The first words out of my goddamn mouth on the show. # copious motherfucker.
I didn't create wearing a fucking fruitcake hat on my stream. I know that.
I'm doing a corn thing, man. But you did invent me fucking whoring in every way that I fucking could. And you know what? I've learned those lessons well. And look at this hat change. $3 hat changes, you whores.
It was way more taboo back then, too. If you remember, like, I'd get criticized a shitload, and so did everybody. But who would know? And now we got bitches in hot tubs and licking their fucking fingers for money. So.
God bless them too.
Yes.
What do you got, Cronin, Matt?
Well, Cronin, you did invent breaking a window live on stream.
That's true. Yeah, I watched that. That's embarrassing. I watched that fight, and I was actually I was pretty left leaning at that time, and I was in a fight with Tommy. I think me and Tommy would like align politically now. By the way, I think we're like maybe.
I think you do actually.
But yeah, so at the time I was like, you think that's as bad as the Republicans? Like, and I was like flipping out and Tommy, and I threw something and it bounced off the table and went right through the window and broke my window in my living room.
Smash! That's good times.
It was,
good
so pathetic.
and I'm not gonna lie. There was a point in Cronin, and where I was really mad at you during the wars.
The war. See, I told you I didn't make that up. The wars. These fuckers call it the wars.
I'm
It
usually
was
the
the
bad
Cronin
guy.
wars.
I'm usually the bad guy. I will say that.
Well, you weren't the good guy. I'll put it that way.
That's well, yeah. There you go. All right, Matty.
I thought I was though. That's what every. That's what every.
I'm sure
even-
Hitler thought he was a good guy too, Joe. But
Exactly.
Putin thinks he's the good guy right now. Joey.
I was trying to tell my wife that I'm like, he's not just some evil person. Like he literally thinks he's doing the right thing. You realize that, right?
We have to just think about him from his perspective. You know,
Yeah, let's think about it. Like as the babies are burning.
at the baby's burn.
There's a point where sympathy has to draw a hard line in the sand.
But you know, at least we're all at a point where we can talk about it and laugh about it and move the fuck on. That's a good thing. And there were guys who took stances. There were people who, there are people who fucking told me that if I ever went back over there, they would lose respect for me. All kinds of fucking shit. And just all kinds of stuff like that. And, which is at the time, it's like okay, rah rah, appreciated. But as you get older, you kind of let go of all that stuff, and you just kind of miss your buddies.
Well, RealTalk made a song about that.
I remember. Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Yeah. Okay,
And
I got it.
admit that there was a point early on when I went back trying to mend bridges with Cronin.
Those are good times. Fucking old school. Yeah, but you're awkward. You're fucking awkward is your goddamn problem, Matt. You can't do anything right without being awkward, for Christ's
True.
sake.
Yeah, you scared me.
He
Trust me,
has that
I scare me every morning just looking in the mirror.
That makes sense. Do you have an actual question, or are you just here being a jabbering butt plug?
I do have this for Cronin.
Hit him.
You think there's any chance a full-on collaboration show with Dave again?
Yeah, I would think so.
Absolutely. I mean, he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean like a weekly show.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's always a possibility. You asking me or Cronin?
I'm asking both of you.
I'm looking for talent, and I like Dave, so yeah, it's open for me. Like as far as him coming on to my Patreon show or YouTube, I would do stuff with Dave.
I'm definitely down. I mean, especially with how well tonight's gone. You know, I definitely wanted to do something like this before anything like that happened. Because let's be honest, I kind of like being the guy who hasn't gone back. You know, everybody fucking says they're gonna do something, and even Shawn Michaels came out of retirement. I said I wasn't gonna go back, and I still haven't. It doesn't mean that I can't fucking be cool with Joe. In fact, I'm happy to say that I consider Joe a friend again. You know, it's nice that him and I can talk and pick up a phone every so often if we need to, and hit each other up and go on each other's shows. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a much better fucking way than having closed resentment. That's never a good thing. It's how you get ass cancer.
Yeah, I always want to do things with people. You know, I really do. Like that's what it is. You know, and I not only do I like it just for fun, but I also like it, you know, business wise.
Right.
I need more co-hosts, friends, talent. I need that.
I can bring you a solid 6 viewers, Joe.
It's not about that. It's about your ability to hold a conversation. That's
and
what
I'm
about.
Thin now. You know, I might
Seriously,
actually get some fucking buttholes wet now.
We might get some more females listening to the show. Not with that.
Hell, Dave weighs less than I do now.
It's fucking
Yeah,
crazy.
you might weigh less than I do.
Well, May 21st, I got a goal. I'm hitting 200 pounds by my birthday. 39 years old, May 21st. I want to be under 200.
I'm 215 right now.
I'm right around 218.
Did you ever think that? Did you remember
Never.
when you first started? You started saying, "Joe, you're looking a little doughy." Remember when you said?
I do remember that. You were looking doughy.
Yeah, I was assaulted. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was 190. I was hitting about 200 at that time. I was about hitting 200, and I'd been 190 before that. So, yeah, you said that, and it only went up from there. And recently, I went down to 200, and then I went up to 230. Recently.
Oh, whoa! You went up to 230.
Damn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's up there. Back when I was with you, man, I was 450 and up.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. And you and Jake too. It's something. So there's the other thing. While all my co-hosts get sick and could die, you guys tend to lose weight for like massively. So
except Jake Link, he's still fat.
Well, I mean,
Tommy NC 2010 still fat. Tommy C's fat as
he's fucking
fuck.
yeah, he's getting. I think I saw him on your show the most recently. I watched that, so that was the first time I'd seen him.
He's down a few pounds.
Oh, is he?
He's still fat. Yeah.
Go look at him. I don't know.
Jeez, listen to please don't die. Good God. Now we're all getting to our 40s. Now we got to start playing the death bingo.
With each other, yeah.
it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, is there? I'm actually thinking about putting together a legitimate pool at this point.
Yeah, Tontine and shit. Last one standing gets all the fucking money.
I might be first to go.
Who
It could be me.
knows?
Nah, I don't think I'm betting on Cronin to go first.
I mean, I do have the wife with all the sex, but
That's true. That'll keep you going for a while.
but she might kill me.
That's especially
True.
if you get her pregnant again.
Yeah. Oh no, she wants to. She wants to have another kid, and I said we cannot have another kid.
What do you mean
Like,
she wants to have another kid? You have a fucking baseball team.
That's what I said. I'm like, I'm like, we can't do that. We can barely keep going. What's going? We're like on the rocky road here, and you want to have it? Like, we're not having another kid.
You know, that solves all problems. Or get a puppy. I have a puppy and a kid.
Well, we had a puppy, and the dog got vicious because it was supposed to be a black lab, but we started looking at it. And we're like, it looks like a pit bull,
Oh, fuck.
and it was like half pit bull and like 3 other aggressive breeds rolled into one. And
Dire wolf.
the dog was beautiful. We had the dog for a year and a half, but it tried to kill Melly, my border collie,
Well, that's not good.
over a toy, and then she did it to the kids a couple times.
Tried
And
to
then
kill the kids?
Well, no, like she growled at them like crazily, like, and then got nuts, like when they went near a toy.
That's fucking terrifying.
Jesus.
So we're like, all right, but she's sweet and she loves the kids and licks them, and then they play with her and plays with me and whatever.
She was tasting them, Joe.
Yeah, but it could have been a problem. So we had to keep her in a cage for a little bit, a lot, and then we finally got her a place. Leah's dad took her, so I get to go see her, and she loves us and she loves him, and so it's great. But it was sad. It was like somebody died. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah,
we
I'm
raised
sure.
her, and yeah, we were sad. And Melly is my dog, my border collie, is about to be 15 soon. So
Whoa.
Damn.
That's
I'm gonna
old.
lose that. I'm gonna look like a bitch for like a month when that dog is gone. I'm
It's
gonna be
all we do is lose stuff and cry. And just how
Yeah.
it works.
That's the way. I'll just lose and cry and sad and
Repeat.
piss
That's
yourself.
life.
I pee myself a
Hey,
lot.
Matt Pitt. I already have 1 foot in the grave. Hi, oh yeah, because he's got the Zach Gowen disease. He's only got 1 leg.
Oh,
Yeah. So he's great if you need to like lean up against somebody because you're doing him a favor too.
yeah. I would
positive.
if he was my friend. I'd just carry him. Like I just
Right.
carry
Like
him,
Yoda, like a backpack.
yeah, put him on my back like Yoda, or just carry him like. But also I'd work out. Like if I had a friend with 1 leg, I would work out a lot. That way I would work out so I could show my muscles off and carry him around, so that all the girls would be like, "Wow, that's so sweet that you're carrying your friend."
He's
Yeah,
only
we-
missing 1/4 of his limbs.
I mean, we may have to hack off an arm too to make it really like
Might
good.
have to. Yeah, at least go symmetrical. That's a good idea. That's why I
I'd be
wanted to be
like-
friends with Ricky Berwick. I figure I can carry him around and look cool.
Yeah. Well, he's a little terrifying, so you might have to put a mask on him. But,
Yeah, I'm
What
with Cronin
mask
on
are
this
you going
one.
to put on him?
like, I mean, anything, dude. Put a goddamn Onision mask on him that would make him
Oh,
look.
God, don't do that to him. I love Ricky Berwick, by the way. That's my
Hell, put a
guy.
ghost face mask on him and make him most
I love
terrifying.
Ricky.
Good
Yeah,
Lord.
Ricky's so great.
I mean, I like the guy, but that face, man.
Oh, he's Ricky. Yeah, it's like that dude. You want to talk about turning fucking lemons into gold fucking nuggets? Ricky Berwick, man. You want to talk about God trying to kill you? Good Lord. He's like, guess what? I'm still got 1 million subs. Fuck you, God. I love that, man. Ricky Berwick's my guy.
well, that and anybody in a disabled situation can look at him and get inspiration that fuck, I can do anything. This guy can do this.
Sure. It's like,
Of course you can do something.
got a chance. Matt, you got anything else?
Nah, it's been great talking to you and Cronin, and it was nice kissing someone's ass besides Dave's for
I
once.
appreciate
Thank
that.
God.
Get out of here, you crazy fucker.
I love you, cocksucker.
He's a
You
good
old
guy.
school-
Yeah, feel free to get right into the live commentary, guys. You don't have to go to waiting to call. You'll be muted automatically when you get in here. And then just like this, I will unmute you because I got a new little talent that I've been cultivating a little bit. This little nugget of co-hosting goodness by the name of Nerdy John, who gave me a really good story. We got to dunk on a bitch. I've been working with Willie Mack a lot lately. And him and I got to beat the fuck out of this bitch. And we were kind of, we had a little bit of a hand involved in chasing a guy off the internet, which is always fun. So, Journey John, what do you got for me and Joe Cronin?
All right, so this is a question for Joe. How do you think Nikocado Avocado would do in the WWE? Do you think you stand a chance? I don't know. I think he's got the performance down, but you think he has the technique?
Are you talking about what's his first name? Because are you talking about Nick Avocado?
Yeah, Nikocado,
yeah,
avocado, whatever the fucking guy.
Like the big fat guy?
Yeah, the mukbanger, the guy who had a heart
Oh.
attack apparently.
Oh,
Yeah, the dramatic gay guy.
yeah. So I think he'd be a good manager.
Ooh, he'd be a great
Yeah.
manager.
I think he should manage a gay wrestler who gets offended if any of the other male superstars won't hook up with them. Great fucking idea.
I can see it now. He's on ringside. He's got like a bucket of KFC with him.
Right. Yeah, he's eating the KFC, and he just eats it the whole time. He eats a full KFC bucket during the matches. That's and he's oh no, even better. Fuck the whole gay thing. He's a trainer. He's a health.
Now he's no longer gay. He's a trainer, not a gay trainer. He's just a trainer.
He's a health advisor.
He's a health advisor. Yeah, he's or whatever you call the fucking. And he eats a bucket of chicken while he does it. And someone's like, man, how can you be telling this guy what to do when you are, what you look like? What do you mean what I look like? You know what I mean?
I look completely. Yeah, does not even see it.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't realize what he looks like. He thinks he looks amazing and sexy. He eats a ton of KFC, but he tells the other guys to eat like carrots and shit. Yeah, it'd be great.
I like the idea of having a gay manager for a gay character that wants to, his whole bit is calling other characters who won't have sex with his gay character
anti-gay.
Yeah, and he just tries to get him into thruples.
Yep,
just constantly trying to get people into thruples. It's his whole bit, and that's why why his guy has feuds.
And then when they can't get the guy, here's the thing, man, before this match starts, you need to kiss and make up before this match starts.
Literally.
And the guy's like, dude, I'm not kissing this guy. So then what they do is every time they're in a feud with somebody, they're canceling them. So they write cancel and then the wrestler's name on the sign, and he comes down to the ring.
Match has a hashtag.
Yeah. It's a fucking great idea. Yeah,
just send a check.
WWE won't do it though. They're afraid of that stuff. But I would do that. Why wouldn't you go there at this point? That's hilarious.
If there were enough viewers, they would. That's the thing. When you have a legitimate alternative now that is giving somewhat of the wrestling fans what they say they want, and maybe not all the time, and certainly not well executed, but some of the fans are getting exactly what they fucking want or say they wanted from years from AEW, but it's not drawing anyone. So it's the question is everyone just getting it wrong, or maybe people just aren't really looking to consume that right now?
Well,
I don't know what the answer is.
I have the answer to this. The AEW is a train wreck that's fun because even if they do something crappy, it's still more exciting than WWE. So WWE has this cookie cutter situation that they execute well enough, but it's boring as hell. AEW has peaks and valleys of stuff. They hit on something and then other things are horrific, but at least that's exciting to talk about, where WWE is just boring. However, what nobody is doing is creating any new fans. There are no new fans being created whatsoever, and you won't get that until you get a Hulk Hogan, a Ric Flair type, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and nobody is producing that. Nobody.
It's also really hard to create new fans when the fan base is so fucking toxic and everyone just constantly goes after each other. No, parents don't want their kids to fucking be subjected to it. And the reality is you kind of have to be on the internet to get deeply involved nowadays, especially if you want to know anything deeper. It's hard.
I wouldn't blame toxicity on the reason why people aren't watching wrestling.
Doesn't make it any easier. People are softer nowadays.
No, I know, but it just doesn't connect with anybody. Nobody connects with anybody. It's not, nobody is transcending the business yet. And I'm surprised. All it's going to take is the right Seth Rollins weird shit to trend on TikTok. And then maybe people will be like, oh, that's the guy from TikTok. I got to watch that show, or I got to check that out. And if that could happen,
what would you call Roman Reigns right now? I mean, I got to know. I mean, Roman, what he's been able to do in the last almost 3 fucking years now, it's getting kind of impressive. Is he on that precipice? I mean, obviously we're going there with The Rock at some point. Do you think this match with Brock gets him closer to that?
It doesn't. Here's why Roman doesn't impress me that much. But what I do like Roman now, though. I used to hate Roman.
Oh, we hated him together. Remember the days? That was great.
Right. And the reason is because the WWE finally gave him the right thing to do. We all
need cancer.
Dude, we said this years ago. If they had flipped him heel from the beginning, they would have had way better matches, way better things. Like, people might not have left. But because they tried to force him as a face, they turned off a lot of the audience, and now it's sort of too late. And the ratings aren't going up, so Roman's not creating any new fans.
Well,
so that's
he's not creating new fans, but he has shifted an audience from Raw to SmackDown, and that you can't even deny that. Since SmackDown has gone to Roman Reigns, they've taken over Raw. Raw is no longer the leader in viewership anymore. It's SmackDown, and that's because of Roman Reigns.
That's because they went to Fox.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
Literally,
that.
the rating changed right around the time they changed the Fox. But yeah,
it was close for a while. Raw was still ahead, but having Roman as a champion, I mean, shit. Watch when they bring it back to Raw. Raw will get the ratings back. Roman goes over there. People are watching Roman, I feel.
I'm going to tell you, it's not going to change too much. I'm telling you, Raw is dead, and SmackDown being on Fox is a big thing. SmackDown's better though. So
it's a better show. Right. I agree with that. It's only 2 hours too.
Okay, it's a lot of factors. I'll agree with you. I'll meet you halfway on that.
Fair enough.
Roman is the best character in the company right now. SmackDown is 2 hours, and SmackDown is the better show. So you put those things. And number 4, SmackDown's on Fox. Which
but he's still not. Well, what you're saying is he's still not Austin. He's still not Rock. And I'll agree with that. He's not. But he is probably Cena. I think he's on that level. You don't think so? You don't think so?
No.
I think he is.
Yeah, no, because Cena brought millions of people to the show.
In a different era. In a different era.
Yeah, but
I don't know if they're gonna draw the same time.
Roman is Diesel. Roman's Diesel.
Ooh. See, that only works because of the number comparison. I don't know if it works for the actual for the optics of, because this is a comparison or at least a thing that everyone tries to use. Remember, the viewership isn't just the only number, the only metric too. You got to look at everything else that factors into it, the YouTube views, the fucking the follows, all that type of stuff too. There's more eyes, the needle moving, all of that is more legitimate than ever before. So while viewership has gone away from traditional television, they're still everywhere. You know, it's not like wrestling has gone away. They're fucking at all the events. They send out the belts to all the fucking championship shit. They're all acknowledged. They're dropped in songs. It is mainstream. It's not like it's not. It's just not the ratings juggernaut. We're not getting that same vibe that we got 20 years ago. But that's not necessarily the same thing. You know, these guys are being used to promote. The Miz is being fucking Seth Rollins broke character to stomp out a fucking leprechaun 4 days ago. You know, on Tonight Show. Yeah, so
and nobody knew who he was. I bet
nobody. Actually, no, that was a pretty good rated segment. They got some good views on it too. It was because he's so charismatic. I love what Seth is doing right now.
Yeah, Seth is hilarious. No, see, Seth is the evil villain. That's the mustache twirling villain mid card guy who's in. He's not trying to be serious. That's why he's fucking hilarious. And, you know, Roman is very serious. Like,
he
Roman
has
is
to
like,
be now. $10 from Tim Drake. Thank you very much.
What up, Tim? I know Tim. He donates still. He's still a good guy.
Yeah, nobody liked my Roman Cena, that Roman Brett. You might be right on the Brett level thing, but I don't know. It's just
Brett. I go Brett because Diesel was a bust to me, but Brett
some people will kill you for saying he's Brett level. You know that, right? Canadians.
Well, I don't mean. In the ring, he's not Brett level, really, but I mean, he's Brett level as far as, you know, Brett took over, did a good job, but the ratings still didn't go very well.
But that also is indicative on the whole company. And I don't know if it is, and the product was way worse than it is now in the early 90s than it is now. At least we get decent wrestling. It's just.
No, I mean, I'm not saying it's Roman's fault.
No, of course not. No, I know what you're saying. I'm just talking to you. I'm not trying to disagree necessarily.
But obviously, like when Cena came on, they spiked. You know, millions of viewers checked in. Like people that went away for a second came back, and they were like, "Oh, you got to check."
When did he debuted in like 2003, right?
Yes.
He came on the heels of the Attitude Era. It's almost unfair to fucking suggest it. You know what I mean? It's like the numbers were still there.
All these kids though tuned in that never watched before. Like he created a kid audience. Like it was massive. So all these kids started watching that hadn't seen 1999, 98, 97. So he created an audience. They cannot do that now. They barely create an audience. Their casual audience is
true.
Few and far
I think
between.
that's what they were trying to do with Roman. They were trying to make him the next John Cena. You know, the
as a
marketable guy
face,
for
yeah.
kids.
But do you know why it didn't work? And I've contested this, and I'll continue to. It's because John Cena is the greatest heel in the history of wrestling, and we just never fucking knew it. We just never fucking knew it. But he is. He's the greatest heel that we've ever had, and that's why it doesn't work with Roman. You're trying to create somebody in the same mold that's not the mold. It didn't. And you tried to fucking put a really weird peg into a oddly shaped hole. It just didn't work. Now you just let the guy, he's got a new jawline. He had to get cancered, wipe everybody's memory. You put him with Heyman. You just start doing all these thug ass shit, and it works.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, what they did is what I've been ranting about since day one. This guy should be a bad guy. Like, make him a bad guy. We want to hate him. We want to hate him. But some of those fans initially liked him, and that, I think, threw WWE off. The minute they saw that a quarter of the audience liked him, they were like, "Oh yeah, he's going to be that guy."
They saw it. They were like, "Let's go. Let's chase it down. We're going to force this." That's why they put The Rock in the ring with him at Royal Rumble, and they got booed out of the fucking building.
They tried to do it though, and they didn't. They skipped over Daniel Bryan, who was the guy who was getting really the cheers. So, and that also hurt Roman, was them trying to say, "Oh, you guys all love Bryan. That's cute, but this is the guy," and that pissed people off. And so that Roman never recovered from that the right way.
And that's a hardcore fan base decision too. And I think that plays in what Fake Ass Twat just said. Feels like there's no more casual audience. It's only hardcores now because the casuals don't give a shit. It's hard to give a shit when all you come in and you see is fucking warring. Pick a side or die, pussies. Then you got wrestlers responding to it. Fucking CM Punk looking like a goddamn idiot, criticizing people because they didn't know that a theme song was used in Ring of Honor. It's the 6 people who knew that was your theme song, you prick. And you were always right about that piece of shit, by the way. Oh, Philly piggy bank stealing Brooks.
Yeah, dude, he really sucks. Like,
he does suck.
He's
Wear
the type
another
of
pussy shirt, you pussy.
If he likes you, he treats you like you're beautiful. But if he just doesn't like you at all, he's a punk. He's a bully. He's a mean person.
Hey, Nerdy John, you got anything else for Cronin? I'm gonna get to the other callers here.
No, nothing else. Thanks for having me on.
Good call, buddy. Matt Pitt, this is Tommy's button pusher. This is the producer extreme. Matt Pitt, what's up, pal?
What's up? I was gonna ask Joe, do you have you ever had any more interaction with Ryback since the confrontation you had in 2017?
Ooh.
No, I mean,
Ryback.
like, people fuck with him all the time, like, about me or whatever, and so once in a while he says things, but not really, nothing directly, you know. I think I've told that story a few times. I've seen a couple videos on that situation, and they always get it kind of wrong.
What happened with you and Ryback in 2017?
What happened was JB was working on getting him on the show, and he was messaging Pat Buck, and maybe Matt Pitt hasn't even heard this part yet.
I haven't. I just know the video that I saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so how it started is we're emailing Ryback to get him on the show. He was a hot commodity. Everybody wanted him on. Oh, yeah. So we're emailing him to get him on the show, and Ryback, or well, we thought it was Ryback, but it was his producer guy or co-host, Pat Buck, was messaging back, and allegedly what happened was, JB was like, yeah, he's like thousands of dollars or something. Like, he wants money to be on the show. And so I was like, oh man, what the fuck? So people kept pestering me about Ryback. So I finally started tweeting out, yeah, dude, he's not coming on the show. So I started getting creative when people would ask me about him coming on the show. And I started writing like, yeah, he wants 100 dildos. He wants 10 yeah, we'll get him on the show if you get 10 gold bars and a Mercedes. And then one of the last things I said was, yeah, he wants $4,000 or $5,000. Or I think I actually said about what he wanted, but more I exaggerated it. Anyway, that got back to him, and he was like,
There's this guy saying I want money to be on his show. It's a bunch of bullshit.
He's a bully.
Yeah, he's a bully, basically. This Joe Cronin. I don't know who this guy is.
So he gets mad. He makes that video, flips out. Then I try to make a video, and I tried to tweet him to say, hey, man, those were just jokes. I was joking because you cost so much to be on the show that I started just tweeting. When people would ask me about you, I would say you wanted $1 million or you wanted a gold coat or whatever. And he blocked me, so he never got to hear that response. Then what happened is I made like some kind of apology video explaining it, but then I had a friend who called in at the time and did Ryback's voice.
Oh, fuck.
Making fun of Ryback on my show. And I'd been doing Ryback's voice for a while, but it wasn't the best. And this guy did it really well. And he calls up and he just buries Ryback like,
I'm a fucking... I suck dick,
like, and all these things. And Ryback heard that and got pissed, I guess. So I'm at, he gets mad at us again. So I'm at WrestleCon with JD from New York. Me and him are at WrestleCon, and I said, dude, let's go up to Ryback and try to talk to him and try to squash this thing. And he's like, no. He's like, well, you fucking sure, man? Like, I'm like, yeah, like, whatever. So he grabs his camera. He turns his camera on, starts filming it. And I go up, I go, hey, Ryback. And he puts his hand out. Hey, man, what's up? And as I shake his hand, I say, I'm Joe Cronin. He goes, oh. Like, and you watch the video, right?
Yeah, I've seen the video. Yeah.
So you can hear him audibly. He goes, oh, you know?
Yeah.
And anyway, so I'm trying to sort of explain to him, like, I do a comedy show. It's supposed to be funny. You know, I apologize if we hurt, you know, we bothered you or whatever. You know, we just didn't, you know, it was a lot of money and all that sort of thing. But he denied that they wanted any money.
Oh,
and then
shit.
the next day on his podcast, though, and he told me to be better, be a better person. Don't say things about people like this.
Oh, really?
But then the next day on his podcast, he said I should be killed in a pit of spite. So, I'm like, wait a minute. And it turns out that a lot of people think Ryback's a scumbag and an asshole and all these things.
He seems to be. He seems to be.
Now, the other thing about this is Pat Buck and him then had a falling out several months later.
Oh, fuck.
And I have a recording of Ryback from his show where he says Pat Buck would wrestle old dying men sexually for money. And he found out that Pat Buck was stealing money from him and trying to get money from people from him. And I went, oh, you motherfucker. That's what he wants. And so, dude, I was like, no apology, right, Ryback? You're not going to come to me and say, oh, Joe, you were right, you know? And anyway, I'm kidding. Who cares? But so that's what happened. And then I'm blocked from everything. So I know
incredible.
Apparently he watches because when my Twitter account got taken down, I made a new Twitter account and I hadn't announced it to anybody yet, really, other than on my show. I said out loud on my show, here's my new Twitter handle. I got banned. I went to check on him one day, a day later. I was like, oh, I can go look at Ryback's Twitter now. I'm not blocked. I'm blocked. Because, you know, like, what the fuck? So I think he watches.
He's a bully. By the way, guess who just popped in the chat there? Terry fucking Snow Queen, Joe.
Oh my God, Terry.
That might be patient zero. Our first actual link. That might be the one that first became my friend from meeting me there from you. You know, I've known her since 2014. She may have been the first one.
Yeah, no, she was great. I love Terry.
She's
I miss that. I wonder how. Yeah, it's a lot of. I have a couple of people from Winnipeg that are supporters that are same sort of area. I think
they can't go outside.
Can't go outside. You know, you got to beg for dick because the guys out there.
You might end up catching a Dave Rose or something. It's not good. It's just bad times altogether. It's not good. Matt Pitt, you got anything else for the Cronin man?
Yeah, I had one more question. The whole Logan Paul thing, he's coming to WrestleMania, he's wrestling. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, Joe, that's a good one. What do you think of this?
This is a classic thing from WrestleMania, right? Whenever wrestling isn't doing so well, or whenever WWE isn't doing so well, viewership-wise, you know, the one thing that they care about now is the investors, right? Because WWE is making more money than they've ever made in the history of WWE.
Period.
Because they have this is the best business model ever. Problem is the product isn't that good. But so they this is the one time where they know they've got to bring in viewership because they've got to tell the investors how great and big WrestleMania was. So they actually care.
Stupendous.
So they've got to bring in these celebrities. It's much like WrestleMania 11. WrestleMania 11 was so just lackluster and they were worried. And so they brought in every goddamn celebrity and their mother. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Jenny McCarthy, Pamela Anderson, just all that shit. And this reminds me of that because their current stars aren't stars. And that's why they're bringing in so many people to work with their stars. But then again, that's how the first WrestleMania was constructed as well.
Yeah, it's a weird argument, right? Because WrestleMania in itself was created to be something more than just a wrestling show, a star-studded event that could bridge the gap and be a Super Bowl-esque thing for the wrestling world. So it's a weird criticism, but it's not completely inaccurate either because you have to rely on it heavier, more years than others. This year's a weird one because it feels like the star power is about there, especially with the obvious inclusion of Austin, whatever that's going to fucking look like. But I think we're also going to be getting I think they're going to do the same thing they did with Cena, with The Rock. Rock's going to show up at the end of that match with Brock, and they're going to announce the match a year in advance.
Yes,
I'm fairly certain something like that's going to happen, which I don't hate. I kind of hate it, but I don't completely hate it. It should be, as long as it's done well. I don't, I won't kill people.
That's going to make us look like geniuses because at the beginning of the year, I was like, Brock's going to lose the title, and they're going to have to unify the belt in a way. or someone's going to win both belts, and then Roman will get attacked by Rock, and like everything is happening exactly that way. So, but going back to what Matt Pitt said about Logan Paul, though, I think it's good for WWE, obviously, because he's hopefully bringing in an audience of new viewers or people. But I don't know, man, if these, unfortunately, because this is what we talked about earlier, this kind of goes in with making new stars or getting that TikTok, YouTube audience to see wrestling.
Right.
The problem is, I don't know if these fucking Nimrod fucks who follow these people are gonna be able to find Peacock and get on there and want to watch, you know what I mean? Like, they're just gonna watch the highlight of what he did, on his fucking shit. Yeah. So
you think he could be a full timer?
I think he could be, but I don't think so, because they've always got these angles, these things that they're doing, these investments, these entrepreneurial adventures. So I think temporarily he could be around like a Ronda Rousey was, but I also think it's almost not worth it in some ways. But maybe WWE doesn't care as much, because I'm thinking about it as in I want someone to come in that's going to bring us 100,000 to 500,000 new viewers. That's what I want. Can I do that? But they won't. And even with CM Punk and AEW, CM Punk comes back and it gave a little boost.
Very little.
Oh my
God! Surprised by that. I was kind of surprised. I thought that was going to be bigger than it was.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were hopeful that it was going to, but it doesn't matter who they bring in. The audience isn't there, and I think that just speaks to a bigger problem.
They've got to grow. They've got to create. They've got to get kids. That's a huge thing. I used to be against this because I was sick of the kids catering to kids and Cena. But you know what? They've got to find a way to funnel in kids, but have an adult program almost, or close to it. Because
you got to get the casuals back in. Have to.
Yeah, you've got to grow new audience. You've got to get kids. You've got to get a bunch of 12 to 16-year-olds or fucking 10 to 16, something like that age range. You got to get them watching again to create this audience. Or every year the wrestling fans are going away, dying off, or people are turning on AEW or something. Well, and you're losing this audience.
A big reason why you can do that so easily for people is just because now it's no longer the shield isn't there anymore. Not the fucking Roman Reigns shield, but I'm talking the shield of kayfabe, the shield of the internet not being there. But now it makes it like every other fucking TV show. So why not watch every other TV show that doesn't try to lie to you? Now it's like wrestling deceives you. All the other shows are just a fucking show. Wrestling's trying to bridge this gap that no longer has to be bridged, because every time anything happens, a goddamn pussy wrestler goes on the internet and complains about it and blows up a fucking spot or something.
That's a huge thing. Is the wrestlers are pussies. They're all fucking playing, they're all playing video games. Like, oh, are we playing this video game? Dude, you fucking guys are losers. Nobody wants.
If you would have became a wrestler, you'd be playing video games too. I don't want to hear that.
Well, now I would be, because I wouldn't be making enough money in wrestling, so I'd have my side gig. Well, that's what they all do.
Right.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is looking up to, when AJ Styles is like, I'll be on my stream, on my Twitch. It's like, wait, I have a Twitch. He has a Twitch too. Like, oh, these, wrestlers used to feel like larger than life badasses.
They might shoot
now
you.
It's like, oh, I've got a Twitch too. Oh, like, this is lame. These people cry on Twitter and cry. They're they're so overexposed. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dude, the UFC guys, like those are guys who are more realistic, because they go on Twitter and talk shit. They're tougher.
Well, their fights are real.
And then their fights are real, and then they talk shit for real, like in person. So they're talking shit for real. Their fights are intense. They're real. And then they're on Twitter, usually with a little bit more of a backbone than wrestlers. Yep. So it just blows it away.
It does. Absolutely. Over and over. Over and over. Matt, that fill you up good with whatever you were looking for?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, my friend. You take it easy.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Let's see what's going on here with Aiden here. Aiden, you're live. Thanks for hanging out there. You're live with Joe Cronin, Dead on Dave. What do you got?
Oh, hey, of course. How are you guys doing tonight? Good?
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Feel good. I can't wait to eat again. I've been eating all day. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Fat.
That's what it is. I'm gaining weight. Yeah, my wife has corned beef. Mother made corned beef, and I'm just eating it all.
Drive me down some corned beef, bro.
Oh, yeah, give me some, too.
No, fuck you. I want it. Go ahead. What do you got, Aiden?
All right, fine, asshole. So I don't know what this gay pussy shit is. I'm calling for two important reasons. First off, Nicholas Diorio said that he can't call in because you took his mod role away or something.
I didn't take his
he's
mod
been
role away.
Wow,
he's been spurting in my DMs about it.
This is like when you used to ban people in my chat because they made fun of your eyes. This is crazy.
Ban people.
Oh.
No, Nick still got it. I'm looking at it right there. Nick still got his mod in YouTube right there.
Well, I don't know why he's spurging then.
Well,
But
'cause
second,
Nick's a spurg. I don't know.
yes, I hate him. And second is, I'll be going live in 30 minutes on my second channel, Just a Kid That Wastes His Time. Thank you very much.
Well, you don't need to plug your. Aiden's got. Well, you gotta plug yourself on my shitty shit. I didn't get paid for that. That's bullshit.
You just
Joe.
called to plug his shit on your thing.
Just called to plug his shit. That's all right. That's fine.
That's hilarious.
He's plugging his shit every day. Yeah, he's trolling. Obviously, he's trolling Matt Pitt. It's good times. Well, we've done almost 2 hours, my friend. I think it's a good point to wrap this up. I hope we could do this again, too. Not only here, but, yeah, I think it's time to get something together, whether it's on Patreon. I don't know. Patreon I'm kind of like iffy on, but definitely want to do something on the main channel at some point. We'll bring it full circle. I think it's time.
Yeah, man. We'll do something. We'll think of something.
Because the magic's still there, Joe.
Yeah, we could, and we don't even, because once we get into topics, you know, I'm ready to go on that.
We could keep going. My God.
We could talk all night. We could talk about anything. We could probably do an hour on Orange Cassidy and how big is his dick. We don't even know.
It's probably very small, to be fair.
That's probably true in those tight pants, those tight little fucking pants he wears. But yeah, like it's. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say. So yeah. Oh, so that wasn't Aiden and all. That was Colton.
No.
Okay, so he's been completely exposed. So tell the kids what's going on with you currently, the little rundown that you're doing, and where they can find you, and we'll get you out of here on that. We'll wrap this bitch up. We got some Real Talk and E-double mix-up, mash-up in the background. You can't hear it because I'm terrible at my job. But tell the kids where they can find you, Mr. Cronin.
Thank you, Dave. Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. Just go to Joe Cronin Show on YouTube. And yeah, I'm always doing wrestling, doing non-wrestling on Friday nights on Monetize This, which is a non-wrestling show. We party it up, which you used to be part of, man. And so it's fun to go back and watch those shows. But yeah. Joe Cronin Show on YouTube, basically, or Twitter at JCS Commentary if you want to yell at me or question me about something. And yeah, man, after you hear this back, if you think like, oh shit, I should ask them about this, that, and the other thing, and I'll come back and do a little follow up.
Hell yeah!
I do that all the time. I go, fuck, why didn't I get to this, that, or the other thing?
Call in whenever, man. You know, I mean, we're always live, one of us, and I'll return the favor as well. I think it's time to have a good little relationship once again. Until I get angry. We'll see how it goes. Thank you, Joe, honestly, because the reality is there may not be a Dead on Dave on YouTube if it wasn't for Joe Cronin, so it's good that we can go ahead and go full circle and kind of revisit stuff. Thank you, my friend. I
might not be here without you. We don't know that.
No, believe me, you're an unstoppable force of nature.
We'll see. Going forward, we'll see.
Well, you get out of here, my friend. I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks so much for having me, man. And thanks for being cool with me for so long now.
You too, pal.
Thank you.
Take it
Bye.
easy. Joe Cronin, everybody. It just goes to show, no matter what happens in this crazy fucking world, you don't close your mind, you don't close your heart. In the old wrestling adage, you never say never. Never say never. Because you can't. Because you got to grow, you got to learn, you got to keep the whole thing going. Thank you guys for the amazing support in the chat, both viewership, the donations, everything. You're all fucking rock stars. We'll see you tomorrow, Monday. The week starts over. Willie Mack Wednesday, Huffman. Diorio might show up at some point. The real Aiden might show up. Cronin might show up, talk some wrestling. Who fucking knows? Thank you guys. Nixie's back at some point as well. We got all the people rocking and popping, and we'll see you guys real fucking soon. Thank you. Keep it copious. And remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have those talented friends. Take us home.
My thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me oh, just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me oh, just let me